Katie responds with her 10-page notes rebuttal, where she expands on her story and showcases evidence that one of George's friends, Anonymous, also checked on her. George immediately concedes on Twitter, says Katie changed his perspective of the night, and issues an apology. I'm sorry, Katie, I'm sorry. He's like submitting to his fucking audience right now, and it's not gonna work, okay? Because the audience that, your entire old audience, George, they all think you're a rapist, they all think you're a terrible person, they all think, they're all gonna eat you alive for the rest of eternity, because you're just gonna keep bowing down, and it's never gonna work, okay? It's time to get, like, it's time to just shrink your audience a little tiny bit, okay? George, I already know you're rich as fuck, okay? You're a big YouTuber. Just shrink your audience the tiniest bit. You can kick out all these like child freaks who think that you're like a rapist, okay?
When I say this, I'm not trying to devalue how she feels about this woman.
You should devalue because it's stupid. The way she feels about it is fucking stupid. So we're gonna be going through her original video, his response, Dream's response, the leaked Discord logs, her response again, George's response again, that fucking soy guy who had like the pronoun style rant, Dream's Twitter space meltdown, and then finally, the newest George response. So, I mean, there's no real reason to stall. We're going to be watching this all... I did not mean to do that. We're going to be watching this all a little faster. Not too fast, though. Just because I need time, okay, guys? I need time to process all the information. All these super serious allegations. I totally understand, Ivy Blackbird. I realize a lot of you guys have probably already seen all this stuff, but I want to do like kind of a cohesive stream from start to finish, starting with the caitibugzz and ending in the newest stuff, okay? Then I'm going to make a video out of it. So if you guys have already seen this, obviously, feel free to leave. Or if you... I don't know. I can't keep... Shout out to this like random Minecraft YouTuber, by the way, for uploading all the responses in like a very cohesive manner. He's the GOAT. The GOAT! Good night, Weird Caller Guy. Thank you for sticking around. Okay, obviously I should have...
I'm on time.
Okay, we're gonna skip past the intro. Oh god. See, I haven't even reacted, like, we only got through the intro so far and she's already fucking crying. Oh my god.
Funny enough, I wrote it down because
Thank you, King TL. I try my best, you know.
I wouldn't have anything to say.
It's a lot of work to run someone off the internet, okay?
You know, I thought I'd freeze up when I went live, which I kind of have, but I didn't think I'd cry. I wrote down what I want to say on stream today. I hope that's okay. Because I get really anxious when talking about important things. And I don't want to miss-say anything. And I don't want
to miss anything. By the way, I'm pretty sure she takes back multiple things she says within the stream. So a little teaser right there, okay, guys? A little teaser.
To make sure that I'm saying everything I want to, and in order to do that, I wrote it down last night. Because I knew I would be like this. And I knew I wouldn't be able to talk properly. So.
Dude, we're not even, she's already, what they call it, ulting? She's using her ultimate right now, guys. Her ultimate ability.
I probably won't, I again apologize, I probably won't look up during the stream. I'll be reading on my phone. But I wanted to read this instead of tweet it because I wanted it to come from me. And I want you guys to hear it from me.
Good night, Iron Duck.
It's really hard for me to talk about, but I feel like it's important for other people to hear it. I'm sorry.
God damn it. I'm sorry. I'm so poisoned against this poor girl. I'm like evil, okay? I'm sorry. The well has been so poisoned against this girl because I already know the end of the story, okay? Because I'm reacting to this late, okay? That's just the reality of this. If I was watching this for the first time, I didn't know anything, I'd probably be a little nicer, okay? But I already know what's gonna happen, okay, guys? It's like watching the Avengers, but I'm already spoiled.
Okay. I'm gonna start reading. Shit, I look a fucking mess.
You are a fucking mess. Woo.
Okay.
Wait, we're gonna speed this up.
I want to start this by saying I wouldn't be here without Shelby. I was ready to disappear with a secret forever. I never knew that creators were allowed to talk about these kinds of things, and I guess I'm
By the way, she completely destroyed Shelby because now nobody is talking about Wilbur Soot and the supposed abuse. Like, I'm literally stealing this talk away from Nick, but it's so fucking true. Nobody's talking about the abuse that Wilbur Soot supposedly like bit into Shelby, right? Now it's just all about this girl and GeorgeNotFound, right? She literally stole all of Shelby's thunder for nothing, right? And she's like, "Oh, thank you, Shelby. Well, you really fucked her over, so congratulations."
still new to it all.
Oh, and are we seeing this here, guys? Septum piercing. Starting to see a little trend. Maggot to caitibugzz.
Brave enough, and I still don't. But her strength made me feel like it may be okay. A little while ago, my
Of
story
course,
was almost
King.
leaked without me knowing. So here it is on my terms. Here's my story. Last year, at the beginning of summer, I was assaulted by a significantly older and popular content creator.
Significantly
I was freshly
older.
18 and had just graduated high school a few weeks prior.
Freshly 18. By the way, that's a lie. Like I said, I've already spoiled all this, but she was 6 months into being 18. Okay, that is not freshly 18. You're 50% of the way done. You've already been 18 for 6 months. Okay, you're an adult. Calm down. I will admit, like 26 and 18 is a little weird, right? Like if somebody I knew in real life said like, "Oh yeah, I'm 26 dating an 18-year-old," they'd be like, "What the fuck, dude?" Like that's just like weird. But I don't think like it's not like illegal in any way. It's just like weird, okay?
I was drunk in a hotel room with other people around me when it happened. He was someone I had once watched, and he was 8 years older than me and far more powerful.
Far more powerful. Wow. This is something that I've heard people like. The first person I think who I heard say this was Papa Gut, and it is just so true. And it holds true to this day that the existence of a power dynamic doesn't mean there's inherently an abuse of a power dynamic, okay? Just because one person is older, richer, or whatever other power dynamic, stronger, right? Because literally in every single relationship, someone is older, someone is richer, someone is stronger, right? And you can't do like power scaling to figure out if the relationship is abusive or not. You have to see if somebody's exploiting those, okay? So if like your boyfriend's like, "Oh, I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you if you don't do this for me," then that's an abuse of the power imbalance because he's stronger than you, right? Like it's just such a simple concept. Just because he is older, just because he is more influential, doesn't mean inherently that he's abusing his power dynamic. The only instance where the power dynamic is so great that there is an inherent abuse of it is if you're under 18, right? Like if you're under 18, we assume that you're so retarded you can't make your own decision sexually, so that like the power dynamic, we dismiss that away from society, right? Oh my goodness. The crying is insufferable.
I'm so proud of you and your bravery.
Proud. Hashtag proud.
The full story is quite short. It was at a convention in a hotel room. It was my first convention I was invited to, so I stuck by one of my best friends the entire time. I was nervous but excited about it all and felt really grown up. One night we were at a house party when we decided to leave. It was me,
Exactly.
my best friend,
Freshly 18 and pedo jacket 2024 top contradiction.
and her other friend. This other friend was romantically talking to a really big creator at the time. He was also the best friend of my soon-to-be assaulter. She wanted to go back to his hotel room but didn't want to go alone, so we went with her. I didn't really mind as I was up for anything. When we got to the hotel room, it was the creator, the girl
I didn't really mind. You didn't really mind? Really? Are you sure you weren't biting at the bit to go and meet these big influential people?
was talking to, and his best friend. The two of them and the three of us. Not much happened that first night, just some drinking and talking at a table. The guy's friend had been passing flirts at me the entire night, but because he was the oldest in the room, we assumed he didn't know my age. Later that night, when I left, I received Instagram DMs from him.
I mean, like, who cares if he knew your age or not? The age is completely irrelevant because you're 18. Now, if what you were alleging that GeorgeNotFound is like a kind of a weird guy, he's kind of he's just kind of weird and gross, then like, sure, that's a fair point, I guess. But you're not alleging that, are you? You're alleging that he fucking assaulted and raped you.
And in my Instagram bio, in bold, was my age, 18, confirming he knew how old I was. A few days passed when I found myself in the same situation. Us three were at a party when it got boring, and whether the girl wanted to leave and go to his room, or he asked us to, I cannot remember. Once again, I was drunker than the night before and was willing to go anywhere. I was naive, and so we went back. I remember a friend seeing me in the lobby on the way. They were worried by the way I was acting and asked if I was okay. I was really drunk, and it was an eerie feeling, like they could sense something was wrong, and I wondered what would have happened if I had picked up on it, and if I wasn't drunk, and if I didn't wave it off. But I don't want to dwell on what ifs. That night, I went up to his room. Back at the hotel room again were the two friends and us three girls.
Oh my god.
At the time, all of us girls were already really drunk from the party we were coming from, stumbling and everything. There was more alcohol in the room, and we were encouraged to drink some more as they offered the bottles to us. They said they would join us in drinking, and insisted on drinking games, and, already drunk, I obviously complied. We sat on the couch and answered questions about each other, drinking a bunch, and the older guy sat right next to me while playing. I confused my nerves for...
I mean, who cares, dude? You're 18, and you made the conscious decision to go to a drinking party with older men. You could have left at any moment, okay? Like, I'm sorry. Oh my god, they're not even like. See, okay, it's whatever, dude. It's not like you're on fucking Epstein's island right now. Okay, that's the point I'm making. It's just completely embarrassing.
I've never been around such a big creator before. I remember getting drunker and drunker and really tired around this time. It was about 3 a.m. Right before the incident, I had answered a question about my age. We were playing a drinking game and talking about sex, and I admitted to everyone in the room that I was 18 and that I was a virgin at the time. I remember back now to him answering questions.
Yeah, so like, I'm 18 and I'm a virgin. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I mean, it's just so obvious, man. It's so fucking obvious that this person wanted attention from the big YouTubers in the room. And when she got it, she freaked the fuck out and regretted it, right? Like, that is... It's just so obvious to me.
The game about back when he was 19 and when he was in college, noticing how my future was his past, and I wondered how he felt sitting so close to me. It was a little after that when I resorted to playing games on my phone when it happened. Out of nowhere, I felt him slip his hand under my clothes, sitting next to me on the couch in front of everyone. He disguised it with a simple, "Are you ticklish?" I coughed out a no, still staring at my phone. I was overly aware of the fact that we were in front of other people, the fact that everyone else was sitting around us, watching us, including my best friend, and that his hand was inching further to places I hadn't asked for it to be. He made a game out of my embarrassment, where he would touch me in certain areas to make me lose the phone game I was playing. I was scared, and I felt sick, either from the alcohol or from his touch. It didn't matter because my mind was a blur.
No! He raped her in broad daylight, bro. Literally everyone was watching and he just started fucking assaulting her right there, dude. No corroborating stories, by the way. Nobody has come out to back this up. Well, I think one girl has, but I mean, like, it's just, who cares, bro? And okay. Okay. And I mean, it's like, just tell him to stop. Like, did you say stop at any point? Were you like, hey, cut that out? Like, it'd be different if he was like touching under your shirt and then you were like, stop, stop, and then he kept going, right? That'd be different. But no, you just like kind of let it happen. Whatever. Like, oh my god.
I didn't speak or move. I remember being afraid to even breathe. I stayed there for a while, hoping my stillness could make me disappear. I eventually had to stand up after many minutes for it to stop. I was scared to leave or make a scene.
I stood up and it just stopped. Wow, dude. Wow.
Out of the embarrassment. Eventually, later in the night, I found myself alone with him and his friends. Everyone else either passed out or sick. I dread the scenarios that could have played out that night.
Her drink wasn't spiked. She was, I mean, I guess she's alleging she was groped, but I mean, come on, it's so obvious that's not what happened.
What ifs? I was just so naive, and lucky or not, the night came to an end with just that. The night lasted until 6 a.m. I was still drunk.
I love the implication, too, that something else could have happened. Like, she could have been assaulted further. Like, oh, lucky or not, something else didn't happen. What bullshit implication even is that?
From alcohol.
It's so obvious. Like, she's trying to, like, load this so hard.
I went to leave, and the older guy decided to leave with me. We walked to the elevators, where I didn't get on. He then pretended that the elevator was broken, and that he couldn't leave, telling me to get in the elevator to prove it was broken. And then after a few minutes, he ended the night with a, "Guess I'm going now," leaving with a wounded puppy look. He proceeded to Instagram message me for a bit after that. Simple flirt.
Show us the stomach so we can see if it was asking. Okay.
Or asking about the next convention I was going to.
What the fuck?
Saying stuff about seeing me there. Simple messages, ultimately filtered into nothing. At the time of it all, I convinced myself I was lucky. I was lucky that it had happened to me. I was excited.
I mean, this is literally, I watched Destiny react to this, and when he saw this part, he's just so true. She is lucky. She is lucky that, like, you had a bad experience where, like, you got uncomfortable at a party where you're really drunk. You're lucky that nothing else happened, right? Because, I mean, you're just so fucking retarded and, like, brain broken that obviously you would have let literally anything happen and just said nothing about it, even if you would have regretted it later, right? It's just like, oh my god, I can't.
Be around such big creators, to be at that convention in general, I figured that's just how things were, that was the price I had to pay to be there, that anyone would have loved to be in my position, and that I should have appreciated it.
George owns you, little bro.
It was a first. That night, it was the first time anyone had ever touched me. Oh my god. I assured myself that I was just being sensitive about it all, that it wasn't a big deal, but assuring only can go so far. I felt dirty in a way that I couldn't wash off.
Like, the poetry, too, is just fucking insufferable. I felt dirty in a way I couldn't wash off. Give me a fucking break, dude. Oh my god.
I couldn't help the way that my body reacted and flinched. Part of me still wanted to feel cool about it all, to convince myself I was lucky so I didn't have to think about it. I would reimagine the scenario in my head, replaying it again and again, what I could have done, what I could have said instead, but it didn't matter.
Crying is beyond fake.
I mean, and that fact would never...
I don't know about that. I mean, I guess it's possible that, like, she, like, gaslit, like, somebody gaslit her, like, she gaslit herself and think there's just, like, some super ultra horrible experience, right? But I mean, like, it's just all for nothing. It's like a huge meltdown for nothing, bro.
For change, no matter how hard I thought.
Nothing happened.
I changed after that.
Nothing of substance.
Life wasn't fair. I was naive, and maybe sometimes to a fault, but I could only wish it lasted longer. I miss not knowing. I used to be kind, I'm angry a lot of the time now at that person, at myself, at the fact that a year later, I can feel my heartbeat stop at the sight of him, and he probably couldn't even make out my face in a crowd. I can't stop thinking about who I was before at all, who I'll never be again,
Oh
and
my
how some things
god.
you can't undo no matter.
He couldn't even recognize me in a crowd. Yeah, because he tickled you, bro. He didn't even touch anywhere inappropriate. He tickled you. Why would he recognize you in a crowd? It's not like he took your fucking innocence. He tickled you. Oh my god. This is how you're talking about actually being raped. I mean, exactly.
How hard you try. I never said anything out of pure embarrassment. I was embarrassed it happened, and I was afraid to look weak or to show that it hurt me. But I realize now that I don't think being hurt makes you weak. I think it's strong to feel things that have hurt you, and then to still choose to
You're hurting GeorgeNotFound right now, okay, buddy?
I was scared to speak out because I thought it was my fault, and that I didn't deserve to. I was scared of him and all of those who surrounded him. I was scared of his power. I was scared I was mistaken, remembering wrong. I hoped I was remembering wrong. I was scared to go to any more conventions.
I can fix her.
That I'd see him
Okay.
again.
You're
I never
banned.
thought I'd be strong enough to talk about
Just
it,
kidding.
for what may follow. I'm haunted by him everywhere. In usernames, profile pictures, in my own past. I lost the passion I once had for content. For anything, really. The association never went away.
Oh my god.
All the years I spent creating this community felt like a waste because of one night. I didn't even want to log onto this app. All over something that I never asked for. I can't help but feel angrier all the time.
You also didn't ask. I never asked for this. You never didn't ask for it, right? It's like it's literally like when a little kid is like, I didn't ask to be born. They're having like a little fucking freak out, right?
If I'd once had for creation before it happened. I tried
Holding
to ignore it
hands isn't
and ignore
till
it
the
until it
fourth date
recently,
with
like,
her.
research
True.
was cut. I remember a moment around October where I made a comment.
Do
about
not,
how
dude.
and power over my
Do
own
not make unconsensual eye contact with her on the first date, okay? Or else you're ending up like GeorgeNotFound.
DMs, saying they had minors in their DMs. It was an absent-minded comment, and I apologized for it, of course. It was a possible subconscious jab out of my own personal resentment. My comments filled with people saying that I didn't care about grooming victims, and that I thought assault was a joke. And I remember sitting there, reading the comments, scrolling over and over again, heart beating faster. Over half of the comments had him.
This is literally like gets criticized once online, reading the comments, going over them over and over and over again, like having a total freak out.
Profile picture. I just wanted to die. I was embarrassed.
I wanted to
myself, I was
die.
angry, and I wondered if I could ever find peace. The idea of will I ever heal? It's scary. But I was tired of withholding my story to
Oh
protect
my
myself.
god.
I spent so long convincing myself it was my fault. or that I
Like,
was-
what is the point of even coming out about this? Does she think that George is gonna like grope other girls? Does she think that like what does she want to happen from this? Is this like a warning to other girls who interact with George in the future? I doubt it.
a coward? I just wanted to disappear. But I didn't, because I realized that this is a problem bigger than me. It may sound dramatic, but it's how I felt for over a year. I feel everything very strongly, and I don't want that to change.
Over a
Doesn't
year
feel me.
since this happened, by the way.
And I spent too much time downplaying my own experiences, and I still do. I'm still trying to realize that it's okay. My story is about power, and age, and consent. It pisses me off.
Power, age, and consent. Power, first of all. First point, power. He never said anything like, if you don't fucking let me touch you, I'm gonna not. He didn't like withhold like a collab on his channel or something in return for like getting to touch you or something. That would be an imbalance. I'd agree with you there. He didn't do that. Age, you're over 18. Immediately, completely null point. And then consent, you never didn't consent. You playing along is an inherent yes, right? Like, I don't know. He was close to becoming George Body Not Found. Damn.
That they can hide behind their power while victims are left helpless, no matter what scenario. It pisses me off that he thought he had the right to do what he did. That he did it even in my silence.
Oh my god.
My biggest fears about speaking out was you guys. I wanted to keep my community safe from what may follow, and also, most importantly, from the ugly truth of life. I promise with you guys.
Oh, guys, she's so what is it? Not self-centered. She's so selfless. She's so selfless. You know, she did this to protect. She was scared to talk out because of her community. She didn't want her community to get harassed, guys. Oh my god. Oh my god. How brave. How stunning. She did this for her community.
To be open and
Wow.
honest all the time. I know, but I didn't want to break up what we had. I wanted to stay strong for you guys. I didn't want this to define me or my community or all we worked for. I didn't want it to all be overshadowed by one event. But
Oh
once
my
again,
God.
this isn't about me.
Who's
This
it
isn't
about then?
drama. This is about everyone who's watching that is like me. This isn't about
Everyone who George touched? What the fuck? Is this guy Epstein?
canceling. This is about real people's lives. I live this every night and every morning. With every touch, I relive that room.
She closes her eyes. Ah, George! I fucking can't, bro.
It's about connections. One of my best friends, Rue, and I have bonded over similar experiences, and I'm sure there's many others like us. I'm lucky enough to be surrounded by friends who support me. Without them, I wouldn't be half as strong, and I wouldn't be here saying all this. You don't have to believe
She
me
forgot
or
to
my
pull her
story,
dog
because
out
I know the
at the
truth.
beginning.
And so
True.
does he.
Get the ukulele and dog out. That'll make me feel really bad for you.
He knows, and I have creators and friends that also know, and some who were there. This is about realizations. I was once a viewer, and now I'm a creator. I spent so long looking up to creators that I didn't know, who I had never met, aspiring to be a part
Never
of
meet your
behind the
heroes,
scenes that I didn't
guys.
understand yet. Sometimes I wish back to when I was unknowingly looking from the outside. I now have a ruined perception, or rather a truthful one. In this community, a lot of us are told to remain silent and to bite our tongues, and
Oh
those who
my
speak out
God.
against it are often isolated. And that's wrong. It's all wrong. But most importantly, this is about my story and the stories of all the other people who have been silenced, whether it's by their own fear, by power, by this idea that it's not significant enough, because if it's affected you, it's significant enough.
That's not true. Imagine like if it's affected you, it's significant enough. Imagine if I fired up a stream and like exposed like I don't know some random fucking guy like in my personal life, right? Like that is so like, it's just so stupid. This idea that anything that's affected you emotionally in any way, you can like fire up a stream and expose them, right? Like it's just so like imagine if like somebody did a stream exposing their mom, they would be fucking laughed off the internet. Okay, it's just oh my God. Casey Anthony, true.
This is also about all the asexual people out there who are surrounded by a world where you're wanted for your body. I grew tired of not being able to speak out about my own story, and if it wasn't for Shelby, I would have never realized my silence was bringing me everything except peace. I experienced firsthand what the power of speaking out can do to a person. I hope this can be of some help to those of you who are like me too, because we aren't defined by what has happened to us. I want to remind you all that it's also okay if you don't speak out, because you don't owe anybody anything. It's your story.
Yeah, why did you speak out then? You shouldn't have spoke out. What the fuck?
It's your story to tell, and it's yours to heal from, and it's only yours. Sometimes the most healing treatment in the world is simply realizing that you're not alone in your own experiences. To end, I wanted to share a diary entry I wrote around the time because I feel it was more fresh, and
A
this
diary
may help
entry.
people who
Oh, let's
it's still fresh
go.
for them, or it also just may be clearer to how I was feeling because I wrote it in my diary, obviously. This isn't really
Has
poetic.
any mentally sane person ever had a diary?
It's not poetic at all, actually. It's quite ugly. Around half a year ago.
It's not poetic at all. That really just shows her fucking mindset here. She thinks everything has to be a big show. She thinks everything has to be poetic. She thinks everything has to be like poetic justice. Like, oh my God, I'm taking my abuser back. I'm vindicating myself. I'm doing this for abuse victims and me and blah, 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 blah. What the fuck is wrong with you? Oh, God, all these people are retarded children, bro.
I was sexually assaulted by someone 8 years older than me. A black and gray striped long sleeve, Nike shorts, Calvin Klein sports bra. That's what I was wearing. That outfit, it stained on me. They knew
Oh my
that I was
God.
freshly 18, and they
You
also
said this wasn't fucking poetic. This was like the gayest shit I've ever heard.
knew I was very drunk. I second guessed myself all the time remembering back. Was he drunk too when he slipped his hand under my shirt in front of everyone in the room? Was it this drunkenness that whispered to me as an unwelcomed warmth that prickled along my neck? Or was it rather this fake intoxication that allowed it to stay there as I sat silently, unmoving? At the beginning, I began to sympathize with him. I technically never said no, I suppose. But I never said yes. Time froze. Maybe I thought I could.
It's not okay. She says technically I never said no. It's not like you were like you weren't like pushing him away and he was still coming at you. That would be different. You literally just sat there and took it like what?
Turn invisible if I was still. Maybe. It didn't have to be real then. I had just met him. I should have been more grateful. Maybe I still had some hope in the world. Maybe I just haven't met the world yet. You're lucky to be next to him. So many people would have traded me places. I wonder how many have. I remembered his age. I wondered where I would be at 26. I blame myself for all the things I could have done. I really did. I convinced myself I was lucky. I let half a year pass, wondering why it's now that I still cry myself to sleep imagining it. Why it's now that no matter how many times I wash, I still feel dirty. Why is it that anyone
No,
would remember it if he haunts mine?
George.
It's
No.
not fair. I was kind in this world and it was not fair to me. I stay up cursing it. Power. He has so much more than me. Protection. It's unfair. It's unfair he can do that, and it's unsafe for me to talk about it. Why in order to have a peace of mind do I have to threaten all I've worked for? I've never been one to be bold, so why do I have to feel guilty for staying silent? I feel weak for what happened to me and even weaker for not yelling it out, from hiding from it. I don't want attention. I want to disappear. I wish I never had to be seen again.
I don't want attention. I want it to disappear. Why are you doing the stream then, you dumbass? God. I don't want attention, but I'm going to do a stream talking about it to literally everyone on the internet. Wow. Big brain.
And as soon as I do speak out of it, I'm seen different. Speak out about it, I'm seen different. I'm seen as a person with a body that can be used and used in bad ways. In reality, I never wanted it. I'm painted a victim of a crime that I never chose. And what happens?
I mean, it's just a classic case of a woman regrets it, you know?
What happens when it's all I'm seen as? What do I do then? When half echo on about proof or disbelief, the other half will pity me, looking at me like I'm wounded prey. When do I get my dignity back? When I watched it be ripped from me when I was too young to recognize it.
When do I get my dignity back? It's just these loaded words. Like, Dude, online I get so fucking pissed off when people use these loaded words like harassment. Fucking like when people say harassment, right? That's a really good example because people are like, I'm being harassed online, when in reality they're just getting a lot of mean comments. Okay, it's such a loaded word that they're using it in a completely incorrect way, and it's so fucking annoying. She's doing the same thing here with like using all these big words that are so loaded and they mean just like nothing.
But
it just waters down the use of the word.
I don't want to be the brave one, but I will.
Fuck.
What are consequences to someone who has no conscience?
My legs are dying.
I'll never find the peace. I can't get it out of my head. Will I learn to live with the pain I faced? How does one accept peace on their own terms? Is one defined by what's been done to them? Is this a forgiving world? Because I hope it's not. I hope for every touch unasked for and every person belonging to that touch rots in this world unforgiven. I'm very angry and I don't want to be an angry person.
Rots in this world unforgiven. Wow. I mean, wow.
I can't help but
Vindictive
much?
much?
No
Whoa.
And I try to be kind and believe in a kind world, but a lot of it feels cruel. My kindness never brought me strength. Not now. Not even anger can. I'm always losing. I don't find it fair. How something can eat away at me this long. Why can I forget everything but that moment, no matter how hard I try? I get mad at myself for making a big deal about it, but it was. I guess I can't change how things affect me. And I wonder why. I wonder why every touch is a bad one. I wonder if the world's so kind, why can't I experience its kindness? I wonder if I'll experience anything soft like that.
Oh my god.
I'm embarrassed. I'm tired.
If you're embarrassed, you wouldn't be live streaming this right now.
That's it. Which it was a lot of what I already said, but at least in that moment, it was more fresh.
Do I need to listen to
I
this?
don't know what else to say. I don't know what I'm gonna do after this. Again, this isn't about drama or about any of that. It's about a real story. It's about everyone like me who was silenced, who is still silenced. I love you guys. I hope you guys stay safe. I hope nothing bad happens to you guys.
Oh my god.
I might be gone for a
Thank
little
you.
bit. And yeah.
Okay, I can't. We're done. We're done. And then we have this right here. Her on Twitter. So this was, the post has been, George fucking deleted it, but the post is basically him saying that I'm going to be doing a response stream. We are waiting. Pull whatever you can find. I also have screen recording of everything. I planned using it to support my case if needed, but please share it on my behalf if you like. Because we both know what happened. That's why I can sleep at night without scrambling for screenshots to try and twist. That's why you're scared. Because me and every other creator know the truth, and you do too. That's something that you have to live with. So supposedly, right, she's pulling the classic thing where it's like, I have proof, I'm not going to show it for whatever fucking reason, right? If you say you have proof, fucking show it. This is what's so frustrating about, like, Wilbur Soot, too. He's like, I have proof that this bitch is lying, but I'm not going to show it for her. What? Nuke that bitch, bro. Fucking show the proof. What would the screen recording even prove, bro? Like the story you already described isn't sexual assault. Nothing you've described is sexual assault. It's just embarrassing, okay? Yes, I was naive, but I have room to change, to grow up. 8 years exactly. And when I'm your age, I'll be 10 times the person you are. So cringe, man. And you'll always be the 27-year-old still acting like a child. Oh my god. I mean, oh my god. I'm not scared of you anymore. I've been waiting so long to say this, but you're a fucking coward. Goodbye for now. The beauty of weaponized vagueness. I mean, exactly. So then we have his response.
Hey guys, I want to start off this stream by
Again, shout out to this random Minecraft YouTuber, dude. Banger.
saying that this stream is completely demonetized. I've turned off ads. I've turned off donations.
It's so fucking annoying people do this. Oh my god, guys, look, I'm a good person. It's demonetized. Just fucking turn on ads, dude. Who gives a fuck? If you're getting accused of rape like this and it's complete bullshit, I don't give a fuck if you use ads, okay? I don't care if anybody uses ads on any response to any drama ever, no matter what you're accused of, okay? It's awesome. It's based. Make money on your shit, okay, guys?
However, I cannot turn off subs, but just don't sub. But regardless, any sub money that is generated during the stream, I will donate to charity.
Why not just donate any money generated during the stream? Like, why just that money? It just doesn't make any sense.
Talking about some very serious topics, including assault, abuse, and things of sexual nature. So if any of these are triggering topics for you, please be aware of that and be cautious. Recently, a streamer named caitibugzz went live and told a story involving me about sexual assault. So in this stream, I'm going to be addressing it. I was originally planning on doing this all live, and that's why I originally tweeted saying that I would be live the day that it happened, but I simply did not feel comfortable doing it live, and
actually, very, very smart decision. A lot of times people do this live, they end up fucking it up. They're like responding to people in chat, spurking the fuck out, you know. It's a very smart decision to do a planned video response instead of like just going live and talking about it. Just because it's just a bad idea generally. Because people are not good at responding to allegations live, right? Like they almost always fuck it up from past situations. I know there are some. I just can't think of any fucking examples right now.
Needed to make sure that I had all the details in place, and
Vosh, that's what I was thinking of. Vosh really fucked up his shit because he went live and he just made himself look infinitely fucking worse. Got more people talking about it, make it a big story, right?
just wanted to make sure it was all.
Then again, I don't think he would be too fucked if you just went live to talk about it because I mean, her story is just such bullshit that like I don't think anyone ever would be like fucking. I don't. Yeah.
As it happened.
You could.
So today I sat down, talked straight into this camera, laid out all my thoughts, and then essentially just edited out the blank spaces where I was sitting here thinking about what to say, and then also added some screenshots for context. And I'm going to be playing that video now. I'm going to be telling the whole story, so it might not seem like everything is completely relevant, but I do need to tell the whole story for it to make sense and to fully inform you guys. So please watch the video in its entirety before forming opinions, as this is very important. Finally, before I play the video, do not send hate to Katie. That is not the goal of this, and I do not want you guys doing that. So, let's play the video. See you later, guys.
Send all the hate you want, bro. Why do people do this, man? It's so cucked. It's just so cucked, man.
Okay, so this is my side of the story of the 2 times that I ever interacted with caitibugzz in real life. So the first time that I met her, it was in Dream's hotel room at VidCon. To give context about Dream's hotel room, essentially, it was a bigger room than average. It's not just a bed in a room like a typical hotel room is. Essentially, it's there was a living room, there was a table, and the bedroom was kind of separated from it. And for this reason, we used his hotel room essentially as a place where all of our friends could hang out in. VidCon is a 4-day long event, so we actually used it quite frequently throughout these 4 days. And we had creators, friends in and out of this room throughout the whole event. Now, the first night that I actually met Katie, I was with Dream in his hotel room, and Dream was in a group chat with 5 other people. These 5 people include caitibugzz, her best friend, and 3 other of her friends. Now,
why is Dream in a... It's just so stupid. Why is Dream in a group chat with all these people, man? Like, why? Why are you talking to these people? Why are you, as a fucking huge Minecraft YouTuber, like, I don't know how old Dream is, but, like, you're a grown-ass man talking to these, like 18-year-olds? It's just, like, why? Like, again, it's not, like, anything substantial. He's not, like, a rapist. He's not, like, a pedophile. It's just, like, weird, bro. Like, Dream is just a fucking weirdo, okay? That's what I want people to come away from this thinking.
These 5 people, they're unofficial.
Then again, we knew that.
And they wanted Dream to go meet up with them and hang out with them. But Dream actually didn't want to hang out with them, and the reason is because at the time he was wearing the Dream mask a lot.
Don't send hate, winks at camera, exactly.
And he felt uncomfortable wearing it because it's just the whole mask on your face. So he just didn't want to go to the party particularly. He even suggested that they shouldn't come because he was assuming that they were having more fun where they were. They reassured him that wasn't the case. They were bored and they wanted to come. So now these 5 people are trying to come to the hotel. But the problem with that is, to get into the hotel, you need to have a VidCon creator badge. And only 2 of the people in the group chat actually had this badge. That was Katie and her best friend. So
how many passes, or how many of you have passed? Okay, Jesus Christ, learn to fucking type. Pass to the Hiat? Passes? 2 out of 5.
What happened is Katie and 2 of her other friends came to Dream's hotel room. This was my first time actually meeting them in real life. I didn't even know them before meeting them. And then we essentially just were playing drinking games.
She look, you got that
we were
yacht?
having fun, talking with each other. Nothing crazy in particular. Now, one thing Katie said retrospectively, looking back at the scenario, is that I was flirting with her throughout the night and that she was uncomfortable with this because of our age difference. At the time, she was 18 and I was 26. She actually assumed I didn't know her age because she had never said it. But then later, I had actually DM'd her on Instagram. And because of this, she says that it is confirmed that I know her age. To give some context to this scenario and why I didn't know her age, my perspective of things is that I am with people that are over the age of 21 in a scenario where we're doing things that people that are over the age of 21 are doing, like drinking. And also the people that came from an event where they had very heavy security. This was an official VidCon after party, and with previous VidCon after parties, I even had problems getting into these events. There was one time where they didn't let me in because they couldn't confirm the legitimacy of my UK ID. They said they weren't trained to look at foreign IDs. So they didn't even let me in despite me being 26 at the time. And also since Katie's stream, I've gone back and reviewed texts from the time, and there was actually a picture where it was shown that they had this 21 plus wristband on one of their wrists. So from my perspective, it's a bunch of 21 plus year olds.
Yeah, you shouldn't even be addressing this though, because it just doesn't matter. If he wants to fuck 18-year-olds, yeah, you're weird for that, bro, but like, who cares?
Hang out. I have no reason to think otherwise, other than her Instagram bio, but I just didn't see it. But anyway, nothing actually particularly happened at this first night that we were hanging out. Everything was very friendly. We went our separate ways, and that's the end of the first night. And then the second time that we hung out was the next night after this. So we wake up the next day, we do VidCon stuff. After we're done, that's the final day of VidCon. So VidCon is now technically over, but we have one more night in the hotel before we need to leave the next morning. And actually at this point, I actually had a friend that I'd only met online meet up with me for the first time. And the whole time I'd known him, he lived in a different country. He was actually living in Japan. And I told him I was going to VidCon, and he actually just happened to be in California.
What you trying to do this weekend? Moves on Saturday? I think you're probably good to come, but possibly we go somewhere they won't be able to get in. That would be an L, LOL. We have an extra bed in my room, so you can stay if you want. I'm busy until like 5 p.m. You should get after that. Fuck yeah, I'll be there sat.
Same date, so the date's aligned, and we made plans to meet up. Now, he arrived early evening, I think it was around 5, 6 p.m. We were hanging out in my room. Dream messaged me. I'm bored. Can you come to my room? Let's hang out.
Can you just tell us right now? I have a friend with me, Japanese guy from TeamSpeak, level. What we do here with who now? Just my friend. Are you in your room? Yeah. Do you want to come to mine at 1607?
That's what we did. Me and my friend that I just met physically. I mean, I knew him online. Went up to Dream's room and we were hanging out. And again, the same scenario happens.
Imagine having online friends, like, and going to hang out with them, dude. That's so weird.
Before they are trying to get him to go out to another party that they were at, and same story. Dream didn't want to go, but was open to them coming here. And again, that is what happened. But this time, their friends were actually all able to get in. I don't know how they did it, but Katie, her best friend, and 3 other of her friends ended up coming to the room, which had me, Dream, and my online friend that I just met. So 8 people total in this room at this point. This night was very similar to the one before. We were just hanging out, playing games, drinking, and just having a good time. So something I actually want to point out before I continue with the rest of the story is the way that she phrases some things in her story. Instead of saying that her and the rest of her friends actually wanted to come to the hotel to hang out with us, she said that one friend was invited by Dream, but she didn't want to go alone. So then they decided to go along with her because they were willing to go anywhere. I just think it's important to note already.
Could you borrow a pass or two? Yes. Blank just got me one. LMFAO. Could you gotta get one for Blank on a mission?
The story is slightly different from the reality of it, and I'll
keep you updated if they remove the barriers. Clay, I need to piss so bad whenever they're doing. You gotta speed run it. That might be easier for us to get them in. Ha ha ha. Yeah, it'll be quick.
More times throughout the rest of the
Me and Blank and Katie coming back to Hiat.
story. Okay. You can see in these screenshots from the text at the time that
13 minutes, our guy is speeding. LMAO, you guys are going to the parking lot or where? We need to definitely give Blank a pass. I don't know. I'm having one of my guys come and meet you, give her a pass, and then walk in so no one notices her. Let's strat. Cool, sounds splendid to me. Okay, good shit, my goat.
they were all trying to come to the hotel, and it wasn't just oh, we're willing to follow her, essentially. They were all in the group chat and part of the discussion to go to the hotel. I also chose to mention my online friend. It doesn't really add to the story, but she never mentioned him or the 8th person that she brought with. So I'm just saying it because that's how it happened, and I want to make sure the story's straight. Another thing that she talks about is how we insisted that she drinks more, and that we insisted on playing drinking games when this isn't the case. Again, they had already been drinking at this party before they arrived at the hotel room, and they had also been the ones that were asking to play the drinking games. So instead of us insisting that we play, they were actually the ones that were asking us, and you can see that in the screenshot there. They actually texted more.
So, I mean, here we have the first lie that's been conclusively proved by GeorgeNotFound. It's amazing that people are still acting as if GeorgeNotFound is guilty, you know, he's over, when he's literally proving that she's lying within her fucking response. Like, it's so insane to me, dude. Oh my god. Clay, what app were you using for the most likely to game? It's my secret app on my phone. You can only ask it's my secret app that you can only access on my phone with me, you know? Wow, shut the fuck. I'll find it. Okay, we're going to the hell right now to steal your phone. You fuck. So yeah, see, I mean, here it is. They're just desperate to play this. Who's most likely to? Like, it's one of these gay-ass drinking games.
Multiple times, specifically wanting to play the drinking game that we played the night before. And at this point, I was pretty drunk, and so was basically everyone in this room. It was the last night of VidCon. VidCon's a pretty stressful time, and honestly, a lot of people are happy when it's over. Not that they didn't like it, but it's just a stressful event. There's a lot you have to do, and when it's over, you're just happy and you want to celebrate. So at this point, we then moved to the couch. There was a couch in the room, and I sit next to Katie. She also says, looking back on the scenario, that she confused her nerves for excitement when I sit next to her. But again, at this moment in time, everything was friendly. Nothing sexual had happened. I'm just literally sitting next to her on the couch. And during this, she was laughing, smiling. She gave no.
How dare you make eye contact with a woman, buddy? You're done. Too much swag.
She was uncomfortable with me sitting this close to her. She also mentions that she was thinking about my age and that I was a lot older than her. Again, she was 18 and I was 26 at the time. And again, to clarify, I actually didn't know how old she was, despite her claiming that I did, just because it was in her bio. And it was clear to anyone there that she was not uncomfortable with me sitting next to her. And eventually, 2 of the people that came to the hotel room left. So then it was just down to me, Dream, my online friend, Katie, Katie's best friend, and a 6th mutual friend. Next, she says, this is a quote, resorted to playing games on her phone to avoid the awkward situation. Now, I just don't see how this is the case. She's implying that she is using her phone to essentially escape, you know, in such an awkward scenario that she's in, but that's just not how it happened, and this is why. She brought up the phone game as kind of a point. The game was honestly the central point of...
I mean, yeah, this is another conclusive lie. They're playing games, like, they're playing the stupid drinking game on their phone, right? It's not like they're playing cup pong and she's on her phone, like, while they're playing cup pong. They're playing games on her fucking phone. It's not like she... it's just so stupid.
The interaction at this part.
I don't know why she would post that fucking video, knowing that George knows all this, and knowing that he was probably going to disprove all this, like, retarded shit she's saying.
It was a very social thing, you know. She was moving the phone around. We were all playing the game and bantering about it, just having fun with the game. So I don't see how, like, she resorted to it and was, like, using it in that context. She wasn't being awkward at all. There was no sense of uncomfortability from her. She was laughing and playing with everyone. And yeah, I'm not really sure why she phrased it like this. We actually continued to send each other high score updates even weeks after the event. To add further context to this moment, we were all actually sitting on the couch that was in the hotel room playing this game on her phone. And during this, me and Katie were at the far end of the couch and we were cuddling together. We had been cuddling for, I'd say, around an hour at this point, playing the game, talking, and just having fun. And for clarity, I had my hand around her waist above her clothes. So with her statement where she's saying that she's resorting to playing games on her phone, I just don't really understand it. And I think that the picture that she's painting is really dark, when in reality she seemed very happy with the situation. Just having a good time.
True, own that bitch.
That would confirm that I know her age. She said that she had answered a question about her age during a drinking game, and we were talking about sex, and that she admitted to everyone in the room that she was 18 and a virgin at the time. I just don't remember this happening. I'm not saying this to just pretend like it didn't happen. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I did not hear it happen. We're not just all sitting down and not moving. It's a it's a chaotic environment. I could have been getting a drink. I could have been talking to someone else. I just did not know that that was said. Another quote from her stream I want to address. She says,
I mean, again, he's going so hard on this, like, I didn't know she was 18. Just fucking, who cares, dude? Even if you did, who the fuck cares? She's 18, over the age of consent. I don't give a fuck, bro.
More alcohol in the room, and we were encouraged to drink some more as they offered the bottles to us. They said they would join us in drinking and insisted on drinking games. They'd already been drinking before they arrived. They were drunk, and the way this is phrased, it makes us out to look like we're kind of preying on them and like forcing them to drink when they didn't want to. When that's not the case, and as I mentioned earlier, they were even the ones asking to play the drinking games via text before they'd even arrived. So then, this is when her most important claim happens. I'm just gonna read the quote. She says, "Out of nowhere, I felt him slip his hand under my clothes, sitting next to me on the couch in front of everyone."
Yeah, we've been cuddling for 2 hours, but out of nowhere, he puts his hand under my clothes.
simple, are you ticklish? I coughed out a no and still staring at my phone. I was overly aware of the fact that we were in front of other people. The fact that everyone else was sitting around us, watching us, including my best friend, and that his hand was inching further to places I hadn't asked it to be. Again, as I mentioned before, we had previously been cuddling on this couch for around an hour, but I did place my hand on her waist under her shirt. The way it's phrased makes it sound like it just happened out of nowhere, when in reality we'd been cuddling for over an hour at this point, and it was not out of nowhere. It was also around half an hour.
I mean, exactly. It's just so stupid.
Up, and the way it's phrased makes it
it's like all these Minecraft fans are so fucking autistic. They're so like terminal minded. They don't understand that like sexual interactions like this progress naturally, right? Like, there's like cuddling and then there's touching. It's a progression, and if at any point somebody wants that to stop, all they have to do is get up or say no. Okay, it's so simple. It's so easy. It's so big brain. But like all these autistic freak children don't understand it. It's fucking insufferable.
Like, it happened pretty instantly, pretty quickly. There was nothing quick about it. It was very slow, and I was very cautious about it and making sure that she was comfortable throughout the process. Me and Katie were very touchy, very cuddly, and very slowly got more intimate. I've always been overly cautious with consent, and this is not just because I'm a creator. I've been like this since before I was a creator, and I think that's just the way I am and just the way it should be.
I'm one of the good ones, guys. I happen to be I happen to be very conscious of consent, guys. I'm one of the good ones. I'm one of the good guys. Okay, I know there's a lot of bad guys, bad rapers out there, but me over here, I'm one of the good ones. Okay, I'm one of the non-rapers. Okay, I'm in the non-raping nation.
Everything progressed very slowly throughout the night. And also, before I continue, I want to make it clear that the furthest anything I ever got was under the shirt touching and cuddling. Obviously, people don't typically ask if everything is okay, even such as touching someone's waist on their shirt before they do it. But in this case, I was extremely slow, and she was engaging with me the entire time, laughing, cuddling with me, and even playfully fighting me for the game that we were playing. Again, the quote that she said, he disguised it with a simple, "Are you ticklish?" I coughed out a no. She's implying that it's with malicious intent, and that she coughed out a no would also imply that I should be able to tell that she was uncomfortable with it. She says later, he made a game out of my embarrassment where he would touch me in certain areas to make me lose the game I was playing. Now, I actually remember this quite vividly. I remember she was playing the game, and there were parts where it would be very easy to lose if you were distracted. And she's right, I did do that. There were points where she was playing the game, and she was at a point where it was
non-raper game.
And I would, for example, tickle her, or like squeeze her, and when I did this, she would laugh, she would turn around and smile at me, or she would play fight with me because I just made her lose the game. She also says how, quote, I didn't speak or move. I remember being great.
Yeah, I mean, like, supposedly she touched him too, right? She was play fighting. Did she assault him? Did she fucking grape him, dude?
To even breathe. I stayed there for a while, hoping my stillness would make me disappear. Now, to reiterate, anytime that I did this, it was met with her either smiling, laughing, play fighting with me, and there was no reason for me to believe that she was uncomfortable with it. She was not moving. She was not speaking. Of course, I don't believe that silence is consent. I just want to make sure that it is abundantly clear. She was visibly and physically responding well to everything that we were doing. I also want to comment on how she said that she had to stand up after many minutes for it to stop. She did get up multiple times throughout the night. For example, to go to the bathroom, to get a drink. Also, when her friends left, she got up to say goodbye to them, and she would come back to the same scenario. I also just want to point out that her best
yeah, exactly. She could have left. She could have stayed in the bathroom for a while, called someone to come pick her up. There's a million things she could have done. But, she has no agency. She's just like a retarded child, right? She likes to act like she's like actually like in the fucking sped room, like duh, like doing not like she wants us all to think that George is like completely taking advantage of her. That's just not the case.
Process. Then afterwards did leave, and I think it is important to note that she made the choice to stay behind for many hours more.
Also, his friend said on the call that they were flirting and cuddling each other like no issue.
And as I mentioned before, she did get up, say goodbye to them, and came back. We were even talking about staying up to wait until 11 a.m., which was the checkout time of the hotel. Since it was the final day, we were like, oh, I don't know if we want to go to sleep for a few hours, might as well just stay up. But that's not what ended up happening. And it's at this time that Katie says that, this is a quote, I went to leave, and the older guy then decided to leave too. This is phrased in a way that makes me look kind of creepy, to be honest. She's basically saying she left, so I decided to leave too, which is not the case. What actually happened is Dream had decided he was too tired and was going to bed. So the night was over, and we all left. She then goes on to tell a story about the elevator.
See, dude, it's so crazy how dishonest she is. She doesn't mention that Dream is going to bed, so everybody left. Like, it's not like she just left and like George is like following her out. And literally everyone had to leave because Dream is going to bed and it's his fucking room, right? God, so fucking retarded and dishonest, man.
And how I joked about it being broken to try to get her to go in with me. So Katie actually had her own...
Freshly 18, by the way,
she
yeah.
Didn't have to take the elevator. She walked into the elevator when she didn't have to and said goodnight to me, which was nice of her. I did joke with her about coming in the elevator by pretending that it was broken. I went into the elevator, the doors closed, and I would press the doors open button to make it open again. I did this a few times, and she didn't go along with it, which I respectfully took, obviously, and ended up just going down to my room. So yeah, she didn't have to take the elevator, yet she chose to walk with me to the elevator to say goodnight to me, which I think is interesting given how she's saying how she was so upset with her. But also,
True.
And not her actual feelings at the time. And that's essentially the end of the story. This is actually the last time I've seen her in person, was just as those elevator doors closed. We messaged for a bit after, through Instagram DMs and Snapchat, and the way that we talked to each other was always pretty banterous. For example, after the first night that we hung out, but before the second, she'd actually texted me and said, you better not be in Dream's room tonight or I'm going to shoot your leg.
Me and Blank and Katie coming back to Hiat. What? I don't understand what Hiat is. If you come to Dream's hotel again tonight, I'm shooting your leg, so don't. Oh, awkward. I'm in his room now. You're not gonna do shit.
Obviously, she's not gonna shoot my leg. It's just we're just messing with each other. And I actually responded to her and said, well, guess what? I'm actually here right now. And yeah, after this, we texted for a bit, sometimes daily, sometimes we take a few days break, even a few weeks at some point. And at some point after VidCon, we were actually both in London at the same time, and she let me know this through her DMs. Now,
she was so traumatized, she wanted to do it again. Okay, shut the fuck up, business. I can literally book you. What? I'm gonna need $10 actually combo, please and thanks. I don't even pay 1 cent for this stupid conversation. You are at bad business. Yeah, you're still here. Okay.
I will say she didn't come out.
So I mean, here they are, even after being playful. She was so traumatized, she wanted to do it again. Right? He got it. Oh, it's a hotel chain. Okay,
say I'm in London, but she did say that she'd gone to a place that was known to be a London thing, and
you can't say dickhead. It's only for English people to say. I just drank at Spoons last night, so I'm British enough. Oh shit, maybe you're British. What the fuck? Well, I drank at Simmons Bar last night. Probably okay. So just L Riz. Rue and Simmons was gay, so awkward. I'm living life the British way, partying, clubbing, etc. Using gay as an insult, typical from stupid business like you.
I commented on that and said, and asked what she was doing in London. Just to clarify, we did not meet our boss in London, nor make plans to do so. She was always
she was studying him with gun violence first. True.
friendly to me. I was friendly to her, and honestly, I was very shocked to hear her say the things that she did say during her stream. When I first opened up her stream, it was after she'd already streamed it, but not long after, so people hadn't yet made the connection that it was relating to me. And when watching it, I was actually interested. I was thinking, okay, what's this gonna be about? And then when she started saying more and more details, I realized, wait, this is about me. I was very confused, very shocked, and didn't quite know what to think, given I had no impression of any wrongdoing throughout this whole relationship that I had with her. None at all. Like, it was, if anything, it was the opposite. I thought we had a pretty good relationship, despite the fact that we actually hadn't talked in a while. I thought if I'd seen her in real life again, everything would be fine and we would be friends. It was actually around this point, after Bitcoin had finished and we were messaging, that I found out her age. And since then, I never pursued anything going forward, and I essentially stopped messaging her. Her last message to me was August 1st, 2023, and I haven't replied to her since then. After I watched her stream, I was pretty confused. I didn't understand how her account of the story had been so different from what actually happened. A lot of the facts that she said just didn't happen at all, or were phrased in ways that just make me look as bad as possible. Saying things like, I insisted on her playing drinking games, or that she was frozen in place, or that she was scared. She was having fun, she was enjoying herself, she was showing this with her body language, with the way that she smiled, the way that she laughed.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for George to prove this, obviously, but he showed her to lie multiple times, so I'm more inclined to believe George, right? That's just how it works. It's unfortunate, but if you lie a ton in your fucking allegation, I'm not going to believe you. I'm going to be less inclined to believe you. Unfortunate. El Riz, El Bozo, you're destroyed.
And just her overall general demeanor. And one thing that I think is very important to differentiate here is that I do believe that she regrets being affectionate with me, and that really does make me feel terrible. I never want to make anyone feel uncomfortable or regret their interactions with me or anything along those lines, regardless of if it's sexual or not. I'm truly really sorry if I contributed to
You shouldn't be fucking sorry, dude.
Oh
my god.
She says, quote, at the time of it all, I convinced myself I was lucky.
It's not your fault she regretted it after, okay?
That it had happened to me. I was excited to be around such big creators, to be at that convention in general. Now, actually, I've had a similar scenario to this where I had a sexual experience with someone where in the moment I was perfectly happy with it happening, but then afterwards I regretted it. And I'm not saying this to get any form of sympathy. I'm not looking for that. That is not the case at all. I'm simply saying this because I can.
He was raped too. Wow.
Now, I'm not mad at the person that I was in this sexual experience with. I have no negative thoughts
So
on them.
stupid. I can't.
Not like how it ended up. If I could go back and not do it, I wouldn't have. I wanted to do it in the moment, but then changed my mind later, which is completely valid. You're completely allowed to feel that way. But what isn't okay, and I think is just completely unfair, is to act as if I am the bad person in the scenario because you changed your mind later. I also want to separate this from abuse and certain scenarios that other people have dealt with recently or just in general. I think it's completely fine to come to terms with your abuse over time and realize that it was bad for you and a terrible situation to be in, and to then look badly back on that person. That is completely valid, but this is different. Again, this all happened within a 4-hour period, 3-4-hour period, and I was not given any sign of discomfort, unhappiness, or anything along those lines. And again, it was the opposite of that. She was happy, she was laughing, she was smiling, and as far as I know, everyone else in the room would have thought the same at the time. So now what I'm thinking is, why would she come out and say it like this? Why is she saying this? Now, I don't think she's purposely being malicious or trying to hurt me or ruin my career or anything like that. What I do think is that she is surrounded by a friend group that completely despises me and my friend group. And this is quite a specific scenario that probably doesn't really happen that much, especially publicly. So it's kind of hard to talk about.
Team games or whatever. Tribalistic.
Told her friends about what happened. Whether or not that was a negative connotation, I don't know. I wasn't part of these conversations, of course. But she clearly told them about the scenario. And when these people that are around you all completely despise me and my friends, they're obviously going to look on this poorly.
True. In the worst possible light. They're going to be super biased. The cards are going to be stacked against you, okay?
I remember a friend seeing me in the lobby on the way, and they were worried by the way I was acting and asked if I was okay. I was really drunk, and it was an eerie feeling like they could sense something was wrong. Now, this person is in Katie's friend group, and they were concerned that a group of 5 people would going up to Dream's room to join 3 additional people, which is an interesting concern to have. I actually have heard from another source that overheard this conversation and thought it was quite strange that she was worried about this. I think it seems very likely that after 8 months of you being around friends that hate me and my friends and constantly talking badly about us publicly as well.
That's a really weird thing to be worried about.
Don't know what they say privately, but can't be any better than what they say publicly. Obviously, that is going to affect the way that you view the experience. And it's going to make you look at it differently. You're going to second guess it. You're going to be thinking about it. And clearly, it changed the way that she thought about it. I think it's completely unfair to judge me and my actions based on how you feel about it now, 8 months later, versus how you felt at the time. Because at the time, you were not uncomfortable with it.
I mean, to be fair, she did write in her diary about it or whatever, so she felt about it like right after. But I mean, then like right after, like, yeah, it's just, yeah. It still doesn't matter, right? Because she read it right after. Not, yeah. Do you already just post a good summary?
Smiling, happy, laughing, playing along with it, everything. And that's all I really have to say on the matter. Still keep supporting victims.
Any money done, like, oh my god, so fucking stupid. I guess we'll read through this real quick. So here's the allegation based on George's new response. Katie drops a stream accusing George of sexual assault. George tweets he will be streaming within the next few hours to respond. George streamers responds to Katie's allegation and looks good. Katie responds with her 10-page notes rebuttal, where she expands on her story and showcases evidence that one of George's friends, Anonymous, also checked on her. George immediately concedes on Twitter, says Katie changed his perspective of the night, and issues an apology. I'm sorry, Katie, I'm sorry. Dream starts a Twitter space and fucking cries. Time passes. Dream or George think, what the fuck, dude? We can text our friend and see why he sent that to Katie OMG, and then find out that Katie either completely lied and put a misleading or fabricated screenshot in her document, or she got confused. Oopsie teehee. This caused literally everyone, including George and Dream, to think that George was guilty, and then these two morons issued a statement without even reaching out to their friend first to check with him. George posts his new video, walking back his previous tweet, apologizes for a non-existent power dynamic, and gives Katie inhuman levels of charitability to pander to his audience. I can't feel bad for this guy. Unreal levels of dumb, totally deserved. This fallout and his response ensures he will face similar mob in the future. I mean, exactly true. It's literally what Dream went through, where he continually embarrassed himself over and over and over and over and over again, right? And he would respond every time he'd apologize, he concede, and it just led to it happening over and over again. When you just need to kick these people to the curb, okay?
Perspective and opinion on.
It's just speaking of Dream. Here we have his response. I'm not gonna read it out myself because I will fucking end my own life. But here we have what Dream has to say about it.
Reddit. The post is titled, "My honest and open point of view." Dream. Based on hearing both recounts of stories, being there myself, and talking to everyone that was there afterwards, George's recounting of events is much closer to what actually.
Why do you need to? What? Okay, whatever. Why, if you were there, do you need to hear both sides of the story? You were there. You know what happened, supposedly.
Took place. I think people expressing that someone did not consent to touching or cuddling because they did not verbally speak it is extremely dishonest. You can clearly consent without verbally specifically saying something, just as you can nod your head to say yes. Silence is not consent.
Oh my god, I did not expect Dream to come out and actually be somewhat intelligent. That's crazy.
But I was there, and although I did not know any sexual touching had taken place, I can say for a matter of fact that their interactions were extremely positive throughout the night, and she had many opportunities of separation, even getting up and down off the couch and laying back with him after the alleged sexual assault took place. And her best friend.
So I mean, here we even have Dream confirming what George is saying, right? He's a first-hand account witness.
Leaving after what took place, and her choosing to stay for hours. No one that was there had anything but positive experiences to share until many months later, and I was shocked to hear anything at all. Everyone was already drinking, and in no way was them drinking along with everyone else in inappropriate action. Everyone was drinking and everyone was in and out. Yes, she was not 21. No, it's not a normal thing to stop creators at a convention, or anyone for that matter, from drinking because of that. Many of the people I've seen criticize this fact already have very publicly drunk many times with under 21 content creator, and are not being impartial. I will agree with George in saying there's a group of content creators that have a very large hatred for me. I'm not exactly sure why. I have some ideas, but it's been going on for over a year now.
It's because you're cringe and you suck. There we go. Figured it out for you, buddy.
These content creators have spread total lies about me and take any opportunity they can to spread negative rumors. Katie is not one of them, to be clear, but she's friends with many of them, and this is even something we discussed in person. I obviously can't say for certain that this has anything to do with what she said, but I can assume it had an impact on the lens she viewed George through. One of these content creators that used to be on the Dream SMP spread that they asked me about the grooming allegations when they happened, and that I proceeded to ban them from the Dream SMP Discord server to hide it. This is completely false. They were never banned from the Discord. They left randomly themselves. I answered every question they had over text and volunteered to answer any more. This lie was incredibly harmful and still has effects to this day. This is one of the many lies or exaggerations they've spread. Both Katie and her other.
See, why doesn't Dream fucking expose this freak, dude? Why is Dream such a fucking pussyfooting retard, where he doesn't just fucking nuke whoever this is off the face of the earth? That's what he should be doing right now. Yeah, this person really fucked me over. Okay, nuke them. Why not, dude? Just fucking nuke them.
Their friends there spoke about how this group in the UK, who Katie's best friends with, despise me, and they are not sure why. I talked positively about change, and hoping one day they would come around. Months after the incident, one of this group tweeted accusing me of bringing 18-year-old girls at VidCon to my hotel room to drink. I was shocked at this, and immediately looked into what he was talking about. This was 2 months after VidCon. He was talking about this. I didn't know Katie beforehand, and she was already drunk and drinking, and essentially one-plussing with an overage friend of mine. I even suggested that.
Why are we in a group chat with her then? That's so weird.
They don't come. After this is when I had a conversation with Ghosty, Katie's best friend who was there, about what he was saying, and how it was ridiculous, where she agreed. I was confused as to why he was saying what he was saying, as it was about me, and no one that was there had any idea what he was talking about. Katie was avoidant of clarifying anything to them or defending me, and was careful with how she worded things and texted me about it. It was speculated by everyone that was there that night that it was because she's good friends with the UK group, and she didn't want to lose them as friends if she defended me or my character, or said anything positive over text. Both Katie and Ghosty expressed that their interactions with me were not representative of how the UK group talks about me. We talked all positively afterward about those nights, and even talked about meeting up again. I had no impression of anyone having any negative opinions about anything at all that happened at VidCon, even after directly talking to and asking people there specifically about it.
So I mean, here we have, it's just Dream basically corroborating everything George said.
Terrible for Katie, and I believe she genuinely has extreme feelings about this.
It's over for you, Katie.
I'm sorry that I at all contributed to this negative period of her life. I would hope that she knows that I had absolutely no negative intentions at all. I really thought she was a great, fun person to be around. I do not feel bad for any of the people masquerading as heroes, though, that they are doing so for personal vendettas in relation to this or other accusations, including my own. Just like you should not trust that creators are always good people, you should not trust that creators' supportive actions are always done with good intentions. Many creators that expressed to me behind the scenes that even if the allegations are true, they wouldn't care because they are not a big deal, or some of the same people that were later praised for no longer associating with me due to these allegations. Many creators never asked me any questions at all, even sent private messages of support, and then chose to ask me questions the same day I had drama with another creator they were better friends with. Many creators pretended to not not be associated with me publicly, making jokes off the potential abuse, while privately being positive to me. Other creators dropped me as soon as I was no longer working on projects they were heavily invested in. But were
I mean, yeah, it's just Dream crying here. Dude, this is so annoying from Dream. He always like cries. He's like, oh my god, people were mean to me in private. People did this to me in private. Like, bro, come on. Like,
quickly find playing dumb when it benefited them for their next big stream. Many creators that knew about this specific situation for a long time and hated me long before it continued to make slights without me ever having any idea why they were doing it. They publicly attacked me far more than ever saying anything negative towards George, even though I had no idea of anything remotely about the situation being a thing, and they thought that he was a horrible assaulter.
like, expose you. Why are you even saying this? It's so... it's so nothing if you're not going to say names, right? Fucking nuke these people out of orbit.
Incredibly obvious to me that this is because they
That's
already
what
hated
needs
me,
to
and not
happen.
because they care about any potential victim, even if they are close friends. Creators are not always who you think they are. Even the ones that seem the most proactive about supporting victims can be using vulnerable people to push their own agendas, whether it's their audience, actual victims, or friends. Support victims because they deserve it, not when it benefits you. I will never stand for abuse, and have shown that on many occasions, even with my closest friends, even my best friends. I feel like this post has been very negative, so I just want to end this positively. Most creators aren't like this. There's a lot of good in the world. There's a lot of kindness and honesty and love. There are so many creators that are fair and kind and truthful, and no one should give up hope on creators in general. It's just like everywhere else in life. There's a balance. The bad is just amplified on social media as everything is under a microscope. I don't think all is negative, and I think having these conversations is important and helpful for everyone, including victims and anyone learning and growing. This is all I have to say, as there is no more information to be gathered, and I would like to end the horrible cycle of drama for my—
It's just soy. That's all it is. I hate Dream, dude. He's so fucking annoying. So we have this leaked Discord message right here. I had to... Hello, everyone. Bad timing. I'm getting on a long flight as of now. As Ghosty said, I have said what I... Oh my fucking god. This is why I didn't read that fucking essay from Dream. It's because I'm retarded. I have seen what was said, and I will formulate all I have on the flight for a message as people have asked me to. Once I'm grounded, I'll release it, and we'll be away for a bit. I'm telling you this so you don't stay stressing, and I know when things will happen. Originally, I did not want to add to the situation with proof. I didn't want to create this idea that it's petty drama and not real life. People that have been affected... You've been affected. It's just still this fucking language, man. I also don't want victims to feel they have to prove themselves to people to be believed. I also don't want victims to feel they have to prove themselves to people to be believed. Bro, I don't know, man. Maybe just actually, like, if you're gonna say stuff publicly, maybe you do have to prove it. I don't like insane take nowadays, I guess. If you're going to say shit publicly, you have to prove what you're saying. If you're going to make career-ending allegations, you have to actually prove them. I know, it's just fucking... It's really insane stuff. It's really insane stuff. I believe you, but I cannot control how situations play out. Yes, I know I do not owe it, but I will give it nonetheless. This will not be the only proof or response I have, as I don't want to keep proving myself and participate in a drawn-out back and forth publicly, because you can't, because you're wrong. The more information and screenshots released, the more complicated everything gets, and the point of all this becomes lost. I don't want to participate in him proving himself or me doing so. I just wanted to share my story so victims around me know they aren't alone. Yeah, sure. That was your only intention all along. You just wanted victims to feel good about themselves. Wow, you're such a good person. So selfless. So amazing. I will let people do as they please moving forward and will not respond to anything else as well because I need to take time for it all. I appreciate all who have supported me and especially those who have reached out privately to show with their stories, and for those who felt strong enough to publicly come out with them, you aren't alone. Once I am back in about a week, I will stream my final response and message to everyone about the situation, bigger issue at hand, because there is a lot to say before moving on or healing. Love you all. Wow. So, I mean, there's her leaked Discord message, and then here we have her official response. It's so insulting to actual victims. I mean, yeah. It's so... Like, she thinks this helps victims? Like, you really think this helps victims? You're fucking hurting them, bro. By doing this, like... By doing this dumb bullshit, you're hurting them. For now, this is what I have to say. He admitted to touching me, that I was drunk, that I verbally didn't consent. In my mind, the conversation is over. He said silence does not equal consent. Okay, wait. We're already fucking misrepresenting things. He literally said you consented, just not verbally, okay? So you're twisting this in a very dishonest way. He said that I didn't verbally consent. Yeah, true, but he said that you physically consented. Like, you were, like, playing along with him. You were fucking, like, rubbing up on him. You know, like, that's consent, okay? If you're, like, you don't have to be a body language. Like, you know, there's all these, like, fake pseudoscience body language experts out there. You know, I don't believe in those people. But, you know, you don't have to be a body language expert to know when somebody is consenting, okay? It's very obvious. if you aren't completely autistic. Never got verbal confirmation from me. Chose to move to a sexual act on the couch where everyone was hanging out without asking. So, I mean, again, that's just a point for him, right? Why would he fucking, like, grope you in public with everyone watching if you're like, fucking, no. Why would he do that in public, dude? You're retarded. I don't know how these two facts coexist. How I can consent when there was no question. How I can consent when drunk. I mean, he was drunk, too. Did you rape him? I don't know, bro. You were fucking being touchy with him, too. According to multiple accounts from both Dream and George, I prepared proof on the idea he wouldn't admit to it. They would deny touching me or being there. He admitted it, that I was drunk, that he touched me in front of everyone, that I never said yes, nor did he ask. I'm still asked for a response-proof explanation. Frankly, it's fucking insane. She's so stupid. She's so dumb. If you need more after hearing him admit those two simple facts, then nothing I can say is going to change your mind. But here it is anyway, addressing the stream. As for the iMessages he showed outside of the Insta DMs, all proof of him was showing a group chat that he wasn't even in, showing messages from my friends, which isn't me. The only message showing a response from me was the one where he asked about the drinking game we played. That was after we played it on the first night, and the convo where he's... Okay, so... What is even the point of this? She's like trying to get him on a technicality, like, oh, he insisted we play drinking games on the first night, but then on the second night I really wanted to play it. You're alleging he like fucking wanted to get you super drunk on the second night, right? Like, it's just a complete contradiction. The night where nothing happened, I liked the game and wanted to play it with other friends at the convention, so I asked for the name. I didn't know how that's relevant to anything. It's because you wanted to play the game, right? You're saying, oh, I didn't want to play this game. Like, they were pressuring me to play this game. They pressured me to get drunk. You wanted to play this game. You were asking for the name of the game. You were foaming at the mouth to play this fucking game you played before, okay? That's the point. You're being intentionally dishonest. Why I went back? Because my friends want to, and I went with them everywhere. They went on that trip. Okay. They literally at one point during the night, your friends left. They left you. Why didn't you go with them then? Like, at least some part of your friends left. Why didn't you go with them then? I would also like to clear up things that this... Jesus Christ. I would also like to clear up this all happened when I went back. Nothing happened at the first night. I mean, you were cuddling. Okay, the first night. Okay, yeah, I see. Something I also did not admit at first because it's embarrassing, and I thought... irrelevant, but the second night, another reason I was willing to go back was I heard of a different creator who was in the hotel room I wanted to meet, but when I found out they had left an hour earlier, I was already in the Uber. I had forgotten this until looking back at the text where I said this to a friend the day after. Wow. So you were just clout chasing off another dude. That's I really wanted to meet someone who had even more clout than Dream and George, but unfortunately they left. So, I mean, but brought me and Ghosty back some dreams from CM. He said that was there. Okay, so that's just proving that, I guess. They were all fine, like I said in my stream, but I did have my age in my bio. Like, to this day, the messages were nothing insane, just banter. Like I said, I admitted to the messages him after. I never hid the fact I was still considering myself lucky for what happened to me. Even if I was uncomfortable and didn't ask for it, I was hating myself around now. I was thinking I was ungrateful, but as you can see, nothing insane or proof worthy. Is just said, just banter. So I mean, yeah, they're just flirting. I mean, again, that just proves that you weren't so traumatized that like you felt the need to cut contact, right? If somebody traumatizes you, like to this like insane degree where like you're having an emotional reaction even talking about it, you would think just maybe that you would cut them off after they did that to you, right? You'd think maybe that if this had such a profound emotional impact on you, that this is just so terrible, this thing happened to you, that maybe you would just cut them off. But no, you can't do that, obviously. That would make too much sense, okay? My fault. I forgot you're a woman. Jesus, I need to calm it down. Again, I felt lucky to be talking to a verified account with someone famous, someone I had followed and watched for a while. I was uncomfortable with what happened, but trying to swallow it and suck it up so I didn't have to acknowledge or accept it. I mean, like, it's fine to be uncomfortable with it, bro, but, like, it's not groping. Okay, you framed it as if he, like, raped you or something. It's not that, okay? You were just uncomfortable with it after the fact. Seemingly you weren't even uncomfortable with it amid the fact. Although our texting ended a month earlier, I can see why people find me at fault, but the thought process of someone who went through what I have is a very unique experience, which is why I understand why it seems so stupid. Only so many people have been in it to understand. Okay, so you just don't get it. You've never met someone as clouded out, as cool as Dream and George, okay? Like he said at one point, asking for my snap, good ones. Also, IG messaging is lame. What's your snap? We did not have Snapchat at all. But we did not Snapchat much at all because I don't use Snapchat. I haven't since around middle school. The most that happened were a few pictures of him in a quesadilla with a quesadilla. Wait. Okay. That he sent me. And when I responded back in DMs, which didn't last long, we all stopped interacting. Was around Paris TwitchCon. I walked him out the elevator. We left at the same time. My room was on the other side of the floor in the hotel. You had hallways or rooms on one side, the elevators connecting them, and then the other hall was on the opposite side. Therefore, he had to walk through the elevator room. I didn't walk him in there. I mean, you guys were just walking together. It's so frustrating because in your initial response, you're acting as if he followed, he's like fucking creeping on you. He's literally fucking following you out of this room when you left, right? It turns out that everybody left at the same time, and he just followed you to the elevator to say goodnight. Like, bro. We both headed in that direction. I said, well, bye. And that's when he did the whole elevator is broken bit. So, I mean, he's just being a goofy little guy, okay? I mean, I'll admit it's El Riz. That doesn't sound funny at all. Probably El Riz. It's just the unmentioned friend. There was a man who was there that I left out. He wasn't there for long. He left early, which is why I didn't mention him. I don't even know his name. But there was a message from this guy. I've never spoken with him. It's simply a message he sent to someone who was in the room that night too, and he already asked the situation. He left before anything really happened. I'm currently watching George 26 cuddle with Katie 28. So, I mean, that was never disputed. A lot of the touch was initiated by him, probably not realizing it. I mean, he was literally spooning me from the left as I faced Ghosty to my right. Who cares? A lot of the cuddling he may have felt was personal, but it was just me being drunk. Everyone on the couch was doing the same thing, all drunk, close together. But I get it, I was drunk. I didn't think cuddling was automatically meant to turn sexual. Okay. I didn't know it was an invitation. I just was going to push him off in front of everyone. I mean, it's not an invitation, right? But if you're reciprocating and then he escalates things and you don't say no, then that's your fault, okay? It's just so stupid. It's $10 says she's autistic. He took a step further in front of everyone because he assumed things and assumed he had the right as a shy person. I could not. As a shy person. She says it like it's a mental disability, bro. As a shy person, like, Jesus fucking Christ. As a shy person, I could not speak up in front of him and everyone else, let alone say yes. Even if you wanted to take a step forward sexually, why do it in the open? I mean, exactly. If he was planning on raping you, why would he do it in the open? If you're cautious about consent, why not ask? Because you're being very reciprocative. He doesn't have to ask. That's usually the first step. And more importantly, why does everything have to be taken a step further when I may reiterate that I was drunk? He was also drunk, right? He was also drunk. So why wouldn't he? He's also not in the correct state of mind or whatever. So it makes sense that he would maybe do something rash. I don't know, dude. It's just, she keeps using this I was drunk excuse, but he was also drunk. She could have moved. Yes, I got up and sat in the same spot, getting up to drink, move, etc. Mentally, I believe I was in a room on a sofa with people on it. Just spit back where you were when you initially got up. Mentally, I was also drunk, even if I were to move. That would be a more obvious hit to his ego. If you were to move, he probably would have just stopped pursuing you. Like, a crazy thought. Maybe if you just moved and sat in another spot in the room, using any excuse you wanted, he probably would have just stopped, okay? To him and everyone in the room, a bold move I didn't need to make. I could just deal with it till the night was over and didn't want someone I had watched for a while to while I was falling to hate me for denying it and sit near him. I didn't want to embarrass him or myself. I know it's dumb thought process. I acknowledge it. Okay. She stayed when her friends left. I didn't make the conscious decision to choose to stay. I didn't make the conscious decision. Okay. My friend left throwing up in her hand. I didn't know. She was so drunk she couldn't hold her vomit and passed out in our bathroom. And the more the night went on, the drunker I was. Like I said before, I put up with it in the moment because I thought it was the price I had to pay to be around such big creators. Those last 3 points, may I remind you, were not an invitation to be sexual or that I wanted it. And if he thought I did, he could have asked. You guys cuddled for 2 hours. That is basically asking, okay? Like, I'm sorry. If you cuddle for 2 hours, you shouldn't be surprised when someone touches your tummy, all right? Well, he assumed because your body language. We had just met. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. You guys have been spooning, as you put it, for 2 hours. You guys have been spooning for 2 hours, okay? Why did he think he knew me so well? He could assume how I felt, assume he knew my mannerisms meant. Dude, okay, you don't have to know someone super well to know, like, basic human mannerisms, okay? If you're, like, being... Are you human? Do you know what it is like to be a human? Do you know the human experience? When someone is reciprocating, it's very easy to tell no matter who they are, okay? People don't... It's not like some, like, gay, like, animal thing. Like, this person is, like, acting like they're, like, a dog or something. Like, oh, my God, they don't understand how this specific species reciprocate. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like... It's just so stupid. Like, everybody has, like, general ways they reciprocate when people are being sexual with them, okay? You didn't know me? Apparently, you didn't even know my age, but you knew what I wanted? No. He assumed it's what I wanted because I wouldn't want that from someone like him. Okay. Why wouldn't I want that? Okay, yeah, I just get it. And remind me, since one was smiling an invitation, since one was sitting next to someone an invitation, since one was being drunk an invitation. Spooning with someone is an invitation for a tummy touch, okay? I will say that. Any laughing I did with your hand under my clothes would out of nerves because I didn't think cuddling would result into that. Oh my God. Do you talk to other people? Do you have any human interaction ever? Is this like your first time meeting another person ever? My shock left me speechless because I had never been to a guy's hotel room, never done anything sexual, never expected that cuddling meant what it did. I didn't know if it was normal or not. He touched me for the first time. So dramatic, even still. You're a fucking grown man who knows better. You're a grown woman who knows better. 18, by the way. Grown woman. Grown woman. Why do I have to be strong and pull away or to stop? It's my fault because I was asking for it. Because you're a fucking human being. You're an adult. You're expected to be strong enough to say no, okay? Or just, like, do something, bro. Hinting at it. I should have known. Like, how is he supposed to fucking read your mind and play these, like, mind games to know, like, it's just so stupid. Like, even if he had have asked, would you have been strong enough to say no? Even if he had have asked? But never for not being able to ask a simple question. For doing it at his age, silence can be consent. A head nod, silent confirmation. In order for confirmation to happen, it needs to follow a question, whenever you ask, okay? But how drunk is a person supposed to consent? You think it was the power to consent to a 26-year-old man to touch me because I laughed? But he was drunk too. Personally, when I'm drunk, I don't stick my hand under people's clothes on a couch in a room full of other people without asking. That's just me, though. So you keep using this excuse, right? Over and over and over again. You want to use this excuse that you're drunk, and that's why you weren't able to pull away because you weren't in the right headspace. But then when it's George who does something like slightly irrational, like putting his hand... It's not really even irrational. A normal person would do this when they're sober. But when he does something that you perceive as irrational... he doesn't get that excuse of being drunk because that's not an irrational behavior you participate in when you're drunk. It just doesn't make any sense, okay? Anyone in the room could verify she was comfortable. My text the day after, hey, I want to make sure, okay? I didn't like the way George was touchy and told me about the shirt thing. I just want to make sure you're all right. Yes, I'm okay. It was definitely a bit weird, but I was drunk, so I didn't feel like he was doing anything to stop it anyway, so it's over now, so... Hey, buddy. So, I mean, I guess this is just her friends confirming that she maybe looked a little uncomfortable, right? Of course, I played it down with my response. At the time, I was embarrassed. I wanted to seem cool because I'd never been in a sexual with someone before. How was I supposed to know what was supposed to feel like emotionally? I was nervous. I was uncomfortable because I didn't want, or because I was unexperienced, or because I was drunk. I didn't understand what I felt, but I knew I felt off. And the friends in the room were some of the last people I came out about how it affected me because I was embarrassed at my inexperience, embarrassed at the fact it was out in the open, and scared to react when it happened because with any reaction I showed had an audience that he made his move in a hotel room full of people. God. But let me remind you, their initial gut reaction by simply being in the same room and seeing the situation and then messaging the next day worried, asking if I was okay before they had talked to me about how they felt. So gross. The wristband. I would like to mention another girl I didn't mention because the other guy, she left really early that night. I'm admitting I didn't mention her because she only tagged along one night and didn't do much. I also NPC. She's saying she's an NPC. I also didn't know her too well. She was friends with Dream Clay and the other girl talking to him, so I haven't messaged her since the night until today. She reached out. Here are her messages about 4 from that night. Her messages to me the day a screenshot goes just Clay in. Okay, I'm fine watching his stream for the first time right now, and I'm losing my mind because the photo he thinks this is you and my hand. So I mean, there's the screenshot there. It's clear she sent the message in the chat. Obviously, it being in her hand, no room for confusion. It being on my hand, but I mean, the wristband literally says that there's opportunity because it's loose on you, right? The implication is that you're going to remove it and give it to someone else. It's clear. It's clear that she sent the message in the chat, obviously being on her hand. No room for confusion, it being on my hand once again. He was not even in the group chat to see it, only Clay. The implication there is that you're passing the wristband around so you can get alcohol, right? And even if he assumed we were all 21, because one of us, all these assumptions would have been cleared up pretty quick with a question. I mean, why would you question somebody when they have a wristband confirming they're 21, bro? Like, that's fucking crazy. The party we were at and the wristband talk initiated was an 18-plus party. They needed a band to enter. When we asked people around for a wristband to enter the party, not a 21 wristband to drink. As you can see in the pictures, a 21 wristband was given by staff after seeing ID and after entry. The wristbands we were asking around for, searching for, was just entry to the party. Even if he thought I was asking around for 21 wristband, that would only prove that I was underage. Again, neither guys were at the party. So again, I mean, like you said, he wasn't in this group chat. He didn't see you asking around for it, but the implication is that you had it on at one point, right? And you used it to get alcohol. Like, why wouldn't you assume you're 21 if you have alcohol? Okay, it's so stupid. You do adult activities, people are gonna assume you're a fucking adult. You are an adult. You're 18. We don't end up staying the night at the party because we couldn't get wristbands for everyone. Only a few of us got in. My one friend gave theirs to me so I could walk in and see the creator party for the first time, but I left immediately after, taking a video or two. Knowing Ghosty and the other friends were sitting outside unable to get in with the wristbands cut off by staff as we left. I didn't even have a party wristband on any time I met with them after the room, let alone a 21 age one. I bet you all watch my vlog and VidCon documenting videos, party, and the wristbands being cut off in the vlog. Jesus. So, I mean, I guess that's fair enough that the wristbands were cut off, so he couldn't have been passing them around, right? I thought she was 21. The girl who left early sent me this message today. Her conversation with Clay that night. Before she left the room, she recalls to a friend a few days later. I typed a message on my phone and showed it to Clay, being like, does George realize there's 8 years between him and Katie? And he looks at me deadpan and is like, I don't see why it matters. I'm like, oh, okay. So again, it doesn't matter. She's 18. This person is, Dream is based here. Like, it doesn't matter. You're an adult. You're 18 at this point. Maybe show a little fucking agency, okay? You weren't. He's not a pedophile because he touched an 18-year-old's stomach. He was drunk, so I did not fault him for what he may have responded. This was, oh my god. He was drunk, so I do not fault him for what he may have responded with, as maybe he wasn't thinking right. As I had not been able to while intoxicated. This is also her recalling, so it could be wrong or untruthful. But I don't believe she has reason to lie simply messaging a friend a few days later, especially when, at the time of that text, and up until I came public about it, she didn't even know anything happened that night before she left. She left before, sorry. I mean, it's all just like, this is why I was saying that George should have just fucking conceded on the 18 point, because it really doesn't matter. He should have said, yeah, she was 18, but I didn't really see a problem with it because, you know, she's 18. Like, it's fine to call him weird for that. George is a bit of a weirdo. I mean, it really doesn't matter. And he shouldn't have, like, died on the fucking I didn't know hill, right? Because now he has to deal with this and him being potentially proven as a liar by this other person, right? That night, the game we were playing, who's the last to lose their virginity, aka the youngest. This is when I said me because I was 18 and still a virgin, and this is also when Clay chimed in to argue that his best friend and say along the lines of, well, he lost his at 19 and you weren't that old yet, so technically he would still drink. Wait, what? I was 18 and still a virgin, so this is also when Dream chimed in to argue for his best friend and say along the lines of, well, he lost his at 19, you weren't that old yet, so he technically would still drink. I don't know, what does that even mean? And he drank. I assume this meant he was listening, but maybe he wasn't. Okay, that doesn't prove he's listening at all. This is a Dream talking about George. What? Why would you assume that he's listening from that? It just doesn't make any sense. I remember this question because of text I sent and because it's something I'll never forget. Yes, I know it's hard to remember a question like that thinking back now. He was also drunk, so it's even harder to probably remember. But that night, he couldn't have forgotten it that quick. Remembering back when my answer is just an hour/minutes prior before making a move didn't seem impossible, with him saying I didn't remember what happened that night and nitpicking my story apart with his great dunk memory. I wonder how he can't remember the most important part, is aka me saying my age. That's not the most important part. The most important part is you saying that you were like assaulted and like you were sexually assaulted when that didn't happen at all. That's the main allegation. The main allegation isn't that George is a pedophile for touching. Nobody thinks he's a pedophile for this, okay? If you think he's a pedophile, a 26-year-old and 18-year-old equals pedophilia, you're actually Down syndrome, you're actually retarded. Delete whatever online presence you have because it's doomed for you. It's over. You're just stupid, okay? That's the reality of it. I don't think he's dumb, even if he was talking to someone. Especially in Insta DMs, he would check for an age, at least seen a bio of someone who is, I just don't care about the age stuff. George shouldn't have died on the hill, though. I will admit that's an L for him. Our friends influenced her because they hate us. I wonder why. Their hatred grew because of what happened to me. So you're just confirming what they're saying then. Because what happened to you isn't that big of a deal, right? Any normal person would read that situation and go, hey, nothing really happened there. You're fine. But their friends read into it and their hatred grew. That just kind of just confirms. That's literally a self-report. It confirms what George is saying. These situations always ends in victim blame. If I didn't do this, if she wouldn't have worn that. That's not. Nobody is saying this. If she hadn't have worn that, nobody is saying that you were too scantily clothed. You're shadowboxing. She hadn't been drinking. She was asking for it. Okay, whatever. If you were cuddling for 2 hours, you were asking for it, okay? Sorry. We are embedded in a society cover for assault when we're built on it. It's easy to say what I should have done, looking for the outside, not being one in the situation in the moment. It's also easier to think of how I could have gotten out of the situation now that I'm not thinking about it. It's also easier to say that, like, he's completely wrong for doing this to you when you only know your perspective, right? From your perspective, yeah, it's easy to say that, like, oh, he shouldn't have done this. But from his perspective, he had literally no reason to think he shouldn't have done it, right? And now that I'm sober, I can make clear choices. I want this situation to circle back to the original point to make aware the reality that many girls face in this community, that many people are forced into silence. It's not petty drama, but real life. People that have been affected. I just don't want victims to feel they have to prove themselves to be people, to be believed, that they are only validated proof. I believe you. My story was built different because it was on such a wide scale, such a big audience. Yes, I know I do not owe it. Victims don't owe anything to anyone. With my unique situation, I have to give proof nonetheless. Considering these circumstances, I'll accept. If people don't believe me, all I've said here is this. I mean, you're not accepting people don't believe me. Come on, let's be honest. I also want to know that those who fake allegations to platform someone or seek attention are scum. You are the reason people choose to never come out with their stories. You are the reason oh my God, you are the reason there is distrust in coming forward about these situations. I hope you rot. I mean, wow, that's big words coming from someone who really didn't have anything happen to them. I find it funny when people say victims do this for clout, because I promise you, anyone who had come forward about something like this knows a large sum of what you receive is endless hate, and it becomes what you're known for. It's the price you have to pay to speak up. I'm literally broken record at this point. Nothing happened. This will be the only proof or response I have, as I don't have any energy, and I have said all I have to say. Any response further from now, I will not be responding to because I am physically away and I will also be mentally taking a break. My comments on platforms are flooded with hate, so I cannot say I'll be active anywhere, but I'll see the support. I appreciate you all. Wow, you're such a victim. Yeah, you were you were touched then, you're being touched now, I guess. I just hoped some people would realize how many unknown things go on behind the scenes and how dangerous blind idolization is. But I suppose it's an issue will take much more time. Yeah, honestly, this story is a very good warning against blind idolization, right? Because all these fucking freak-ass Minecraft fans blindly idolized George so much that when he did something they perceived as bad, they all had a fucking meltdown freak out, right? They did something. He made one slight little misstep, I guess. It's not even a misstep, but something they perceived as a misstep, and they all immediately turned on him and fucking tore him to shreds. Okay, this is the issue. This is the problem with cultivating an audience that idolizes you, right? It's just so stupid. And most importantly, isn't a one-time thing. The larger creators that have reached out about their own stories concerning them are still too scared of them to come forward. They make me sick. Women who have been friends with them, people I watch, people I've never spoken to, the people I have, this is so much bigger than me. I wish they find peace. There is a reason people have distanced themselves from these men. There is a reason other creators act like they do. My experience is simply only one public, and no other creator owes it anyone to share their experience with them. I just wish it was more obvious seeing the people who have distanced themselves and the people who still around them to this day. So, I mean, again, it just seems like she's trying to destroy George as much as possible. Like, just look at who's around him. Blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't want to ruin his career, guys, but I mean, just pay attention to who's around him. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I'll be away for a week, then I will stream a final statement once again. I can hear my voice and sincerity, and probably my final statement on it all. I'll be watching. Has it been a week? No. A week tomorrow. Maybe we'll have to go live tomorrow too. Fun. I want to continue my content, music, videos, and supporting you guys. I don't want this to define me or stop me simply because it happened to me, but there's a lot more to be said before I can make my peace. I don't know how long it will take returning the internet, but once I've said, I wish all of you guys in healing. So yeah, I agree with Destiny. This person should be run off the internet. This is fucking... It's undefensible, dude. Like, this is despicable. So here we have George's response directly after all the allegations came out. Since reading Katie's... Like, this is just so fucking cucked, man. I can't do this. Since reading Katie's newest post, my perspective on that night and my overall conclusion has massively changed as she introduced new information I was not aware of at all before. What new information, dude? What new information are you receiving about your own objective experience? Are you fucking... What were you not aware of? What? I have so much more I will say, but for now, Katie, I'm sorry. I really hope you can hear my words. I'm not trying to understand that I do not have any bad intentions. It's not hard to change the fact that you were hurt. I will be saying more soon. God, I hate how fucking cucked all these people are, bro. You should nuke this person off of the face of the earth. Like, holy shit, man. It is so... It's just so sad.
For those of you who don't know, Katie...
So here we finally reach the end, okay? We've gone through all that preempting, and here we have the final response from George, okay? His final statement on the issue. Are you guys hyped? I'm fucking hyped. Let's give this a watch. He looks like Dream in this fucking... in this pause frame here.
caitibugzz recently did a stream and accused me of something very serious. I made a response, and then she made a follow-up response. This is my response to her follow-up. Throughout this video, I'm going to be showing clips from some other people, just for context, and just make it clear, I don't want any hate to be sent to anyone, including these people. Here are the 2 tweets that I posted about the situation. These are now deleted, I only made them to let people know.
I'm doing a very serious stream related. Okay.
So that I had intentions to make a response, and I didn't want people to think I was just completely radio silent in the time that I needed to make those responses. First of all, I just want to make it clear that my tweet that I put out after my first statement wasn't somehow admitting to deal or completely backtracking what I originally said. My perspective had changed.
It wasn't a minute, dude. You literally like sound so pussy whipped. You're like saying sorry, and over and over and over again.
New information that Katie had provided. So now I'm just going to go over Katie's new statement and talk about what she had to say. So first, she acknowledges the texts that I showed about them talking about wanting to play drinking games are real, but that they were from her friends. So this is reasonable. I only brought up that point because the implication was that it was kind of creepy of us and we were forcing the game on them.
There was more alcohol in the room, and we were encouraged to drink some more as they offered the bottles to us, and insisted on drinking games, and, already drunk, I obviously complied.
In reality, it was mutually talked about, and everyone was just having fun. So next she mentions that one of the reasons she wanted to hang out in our hotel room was because there was another creator that was in the room, but then that creator didn't actually end up being there. Again, reasonable, I didn't know this at the time. There were people in and out of our hotel room throughout the whole event, so she could have potentially heard of anyone being there. When her group
I mean, yeah, just useless details she's bringing up, basically. Like, who cares?
Hotel, she was messaging me about whether or not I would actually be there or not, and that made me think that she wanted me to be there. But I don't know, maybe she didn't care and she just wanted to see the old creator or just be with her friends. Next, she shows our Instagram DMs, and she said that the reason she kept messaging me in a friendly way for a while after this whole thing happened was because, and this is a quote, she felt lucky to be talking to a verified account, someone famous, someone I followed and watched for a while. Now, this is not something that I was thinking about at all. I wasn't aware that she ever watched my content in the past. That was never brought up. This actually makes me feel pretty bad. The only reason she was messaging me was because I have subscribers or something. I would never.
I mean, you shouldn't feel bad about this at all. You should just fucking be like, yeah, you're a dumb bitch for doing that. Like, you're retarded. If you don't want to message me, don't message me. It's literally like Instagram DMs. You can block me at any moment. You're fucking stupid. That's what you should be saying right now. If it wasn't so fucking pussy whipped.
Want that. Again, the only reason I actually brought up us messaging after the fact was to show that we were still friendly afterwards, and that I didn't know that she was uncomfortable at the time. She also confirmed
Exactly.
that we talked on Snapchat, like I said, but also that nothing really happened there either. The next thing she talks about is the elevator. She said that we left at the same time and that her hotel room was on the other side of the hotel, so there was like kind of two corridors connected by an elevator room in the middle. So she's saying that she was just going past the elevator to get to her room. And again, this is totally reasonable. I brought this up because from her stream, the way that it was told kind of implied that I followed her out, and then that she waited to take the next elevator instead of getting with
Yeah, he shouldn't be saying that's completely reasonable. You should be saying, the reason I brought this up is because you fucking lied about me, bitch. Is because you fucking painted this false narrative that I was like following you to like harass you more. Like the fuck? The layout of the hotel is completely irrelevant. It's literally a red herring to what's actually at hand here. And what you're actually saying.
While I tried to convince her to get in. I'll just play the clip of her saying this, so I'm not speaking for her.
I went to leave, and the older guy decided to leave with me. We walked to the elevators, where I didn't get on. He then pretended that the elevator was broken, and that he couldn't leave, telling me to get in the elevator to prove it was broken.
In my original video, I just want to clarify this, that we left together because the night was over, and that she was on the same floor, so she didn't actually have to take the elevator, and it seems like she agrees with this now. So next she agrees with me that she didn't mention my online friend that I just met that day. She said she didn't mention him though because he left early, and she didn't even know his name. And she shows a text message that she says is from him, from the night where this happened, where he says this. Obviously this is implying that he was kind of uncomfortable with what was happening, and also that he knew her age, despite just meeting her. And when I first saw this, it actually majorly changed my perspective on the night, because that would mean that my friend was also uncomfortable and somehow knew her age when I didn't. And even though she said that he left early, my memory of it was actually that he was the last to leave, just before me and Katie left. Dream also came to me and mentioned that this changed his perspective of the night as well, because that would mean that he was essentially the only person that wasn't uncomfortable, and that therefore he should have known. This really concerned me. I kind of was just sitting there like really thinking, how could this have happened? So I reached out to my friend to talk to him about it, and it turns out that he actually didn't send this message. I'm gonna play a phone call that I had with him after I found this out.
Oh, so here we have him proving more lies, right? This is what Nicholas, that tweet read earlier. This is what he's referencing, right? They both freaked out because they saw this text message where it's like, okay, one of my friends is now actually against me. They saw the night differently from how me and Dream saw it. Maybe I don't remember the night as well. Maybe I was drunk and I don't remember. But if he hadn't, he should have just fucking done this before he like had this freak out, right?
Because I think it gives more context.
So
So there's a text that is claimed to be from you.
yeah, I didn't send that text. I found out about it when you sent it to me. But yeah, no, that wasn't me. I don't know where they got that from. I didn't ask them for any of their phone numbers or anything like that.
Can you kind of just talk me through your anything that you remember from essentially the entire event?
A little before the con, I hit you up to hang out, and then you mentioned you had an extra bed for your hotel. We got there around like 5 o'clock. We just went to your room.
Is this the Japanese guy? He doesn't sound very Japanese.
I think it was towards like 9 or 10 o'clock. We met up at Dream's spot. Then it was just us three for a bit, and then you or Dream mentioned like just having some people come over and hang out. We were playing. I forget what the drinking was called. I think it was kind of like Cards Against Humanity, something similar to that. I didn't really notice anything out of the ordinary. I didn't really notice any like bad vibes or anything like that. It was a little playful, maybe a little flirty. I noticed you guys were just kind of like playing with each other and just like kind of cuddle up a little bit.
So I mean, here we have 3 people all corroborating what George is saying here, right? All 3 big creators. I don't know if this guy's a big creator, but 2 big creators and this other third party, all corroborating what George is saying here. And we have multiple instances of caitibugzz lying, just straight up lying about things. I mean, wow, isn't that just fucking amazing, right?
So it definitely didn't seem like she was like uncomfortable, you know? It seemed like everybody that was there was having a good time, because I mean, we were there pretty late, so I don't really follow like this internet stuff like that, so I'm not up to date with what's going on online. The way she was explaining everything, I mean, at least to me, like it was not like that at all. To me, it kind of seems like a misunderstanding. There wasn't really a thought in my mind that like, oh, this girl like to be in some sort of danger, or she's being like preyed on or anything like that. Because yeah, even though George is my friend, if I noticed him doing anything that I wouldn't want someone I'm friends with to do, then I would, I would say something about it or not be a part of that situation.
She says that you left early on in the night. Could you talk about that?
I think around like 3 or 3:30, I went to go get tacos, and I got the party pack or something. Yeah, for some reason, I couldn't believe I actually went and got tacos. I know for a fact that I got the tacos like extremely late. Like I had to go in the drive-thru when I was in the car. Like I had to walk through the drive-thru and like order through the speaker. That was fun. I know I left at 5 or very close to that time, because right after 5, I texted Dream that I left open the deadbolt on his door. Right after I left, I texted him that. To let him know. I think that was like 10 a.m. Continuously, I had a really good night. That's kind of the impression that I got from everybody else too. Like everybody was having a good time.
Okay. I mean, we kind of get it. He had a good time.
It was kind of that situation. It's just fucking wild that like this whole situation came from like that night. It was just like mind-boggling, dude. Like I couldn't really believe like half the shit I was seeing. Like as someone that was there, like other ways I've heard it being like described, like from what I was like reading and watching online, is actually kind of insane.
So obviously after this conversation with him, I was pretty confused. Maybe it was like a misunderstanding or something, because obviously they wouldn't just show this screenshot if it was fake, because I could disprove that pretty easily. So I had Dream reach out to get some clarification on it. So they replied back and essentially just said that it was an accident and that Katie got confused on who said what. And I'm really not trying to nitpick anything here. I just really think it's important to make sure that everyone has
No, she fucking lied, okay? This is complete bullshit. I don't believe it at all, okay? She fucking lied. I mean, this person has been so malicious, lying at multiple points, doing these red herring bullshit arguments. I'm comfortable saying it. She fucking lied. She probably, she seems so fucking malicious at this point. I don't know how anyone else is coming to any other conclusion.
Full picture of the whole event as it happened so that people can accurately form their own opinion. Anyway, the next thing that she talks about is the cuddling. She said, and this is a quote, "A lot of the touch was initiated by him, probably not realizing it. A lot of the cuddling he may have felt was personal, but it was just me being drunk. I do think a lot of the cuddling was initiated by me, but some of it wasn't. I was also drunk, but my impression at the time was that it was very mutual." She also says that, quote, "I didn't know cuddling was an invitation. I don't think just cuddling is an invitation for anything. I only brought the cuddling up because it's something that she didn't mention at all in her original stream."
We sat on the couch.
Yeah, it's crazy she didn't mention the cuddling at all. She just like acted like you fucking like groped her, right? But in reality, there was 2 hours of physical buildup to the touching.
The guy sat right next to me while playing. It was a little after that when I resorted to playing games on my phone when it happened.
And again, it's something that I think people need to know about to understand my perspective fully. The next thing that she talks about is that I said she got up and sat back down with me multiple times. She agreed with this, but said that the reason she did this is because, quote, "I didn't want someone I'd watched for a while or with a large following to hate me for denying to even sit near him." Now this makes me feel terrible. It's something that she mentions throughout, this power imbalance, but this is not something at all that I was thinking about at the time. She was a VidCon invited guest, she had a hotel room on the same floor as Dream, she was friends with my friends, and honestly I just never imagined that this is something that she could have thought. And I do think that's my problem. I should have been aware of this, or at least the possibility of this being the case.
Oh my god, he's so pussy whipped. No, you fucker. No, 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 no. You had no reason to think that. You had absolutely no reason to think that. You should be shitting on her right now, okay? There's no reason you should be giving this much ultra charitability, okay? You should be fucking shitting on her right now. You should be saying, like, oh my god. Dude, he's like submitting to his fucking audience right now, and it's not gonna work, okay? Because the audience your entire old audience, George, they all think you're a rapist. They all think you're a terrible person. They all think they're all going to eat you alive for the rest of eternity because you're just going to keep bowing down and it's never going to work. Okay, it's time to just shrink your audience a little tiny bit. Okay, George, I already know you're rich as fuck. Okay, you're a big YouTuber. Just shrink your audience the tiniest bit. So you can kick out all these like child freaks who think that you're like a rapist. Okay, because they're not worth pandering to, right? Because they're just going to eat you alive over and over and over again, like they did to Dream.
I am sorry. I feel
and you deserve it
really
because you're doing
power
this.
balance at all, to be honest. In that room, I wasn't thinking about YouTube subscribers or fame or power or anything at all like that. I just saw us all as friends, hanging out, having fun. Again, I'm not trying to downplay this by saying this. It is genuinely something that I'm going to be thinking about going into the future. This comes up again later, and I'll have more to say then. Next, she talks about how I mentioned that she stayed for hours even after her best friend left. She says that her best friend left throwing up in her hand, and that she didn't know she had left. That she didn't make a conscious
decision. It's that Hiat. Dude. No way. I did not know Hiat was a hotel. I thought it was just like yacht, you know, like Kaisenat yacht. Yeah.
This is my recollection of what happened. I remember Ghost getting up to leave and Katie getting up to say goodbye to her. I also asked him about this and he had the same recollection as me. We were all drunk, so I can't 100% say for sure what actually happened, but as per my memory, she was aware that Ghosty had left. Also, according to what she said, Katie and Ghosty were sharing the same hotel room together. So the obvious assumption is that they would probably leave together. The fact that she chose to stay despite not really knowing most of the people there gave me a pretty positive impression on how she felt about staying there. She says that after Ghosty left, quote, "I put up with it in the moment because I thought it was the price I had to pay to be around such big creators." Again, like I said before, this is just not something I even thought she could be thinking, and I'm sorry that I didn't. Next, she talks about me being more touchy.
No, you shouldn't be sorry that you're thinking that. You're stupid.
And says this, quote, "You didn't know me, apparently you didn't even know my age, but you knew what I wanted. No, he assumed it's what I wanted because why wouldn't I want that from someone like him?" This is absolutely not how I think about this kind of situation at all. I would never think like that, and honestly, it's kind of an evil way to think about things. Just having the opinion that you can do anything because you're famous or whatever. And I never once remotely thought anything similar to that. And I feel terrible reading those words knowing that you think that about me. I would never think that I'm owed anything from anyone just because.
Oh my god. Why is he bowing down so much? He's literally pussy whipped. Who's more pussy whipped? GeorgeNotFound, Dream, or D-Max? Wait, no. Okay, GeorgeNotFound, Dead on Dave, or D-Max. Who is more pussy whipped? Who is more pussy whipped?
I have a YouTube channel, especially in an intimate context. Again, I'm really sorry for this, and it actually has been pretty eye-opening to me.
I'm gonna make that
It's
tweet.
not how
That's
I've
a
ever really
banger
thought about
tweet.
stuff before. And I don't really think you're wrong for assuming that I thought like this because obviously there are people out there that think like that and use that to take advantage of people. And it makes sense that if you think that about me, that you would hate me. But that
No, it doesn't make sense because she was giving all the correct. She was giving a multitude of physical indicators that she was interested. Okay, it doesn't make sense that you think that. You're. Oh my god. This guy deserves to be burned just because he's so fucking stupid and he's making so many concessions and he's just.
And I just really hope that you can understand that. Now, another thing that she mentioned that changed my perspective on things was that she showed texts from 2 of her friends the day after, checking up on her to see how she felt. She says, quote, "In the moment I was chilling, but thinking back on it, I'm sweating a little bit like damn. I also don't know if I was chilling in the moment because I was drunk." And this is something that I was actually completely unaware of. I wasn't aware of any uncomfortableness in the moment, after the fact, or even after Katie's first stream. I just wasn't aware.
Yeah, because she didn't show any of it. She didn't communicate it at all, neither physically nor verbally. You know, it's all on this guy to fucking communicate that, ask at every fucking turning point. But she has no agency to communicate anything at any point, at any time. Because she's just a girl, guys. She's just a girl.
I actually had the opposite impression just because we were all really friendly afterwards. So Dream actually had a conversation about this with almost everyone that was in that room a few months later. One of their friends actually tweeted about Dream, saying that he was inviting an 18-year-old girl back to his hotel to drink at VidCon, and was implying very negative things about Dream being a person. So Dream realized this could have only been about Katie because it was a pretty specific call out, but thought that it was just being purposely misleading from someone that hated him. Dream actually had no idea as well that anyone was uncomfortable and assumed that this tweet was implying Katie was uncomfortable with Dream. He reached out to Ghosty about it, asking what this was even about, and did the same to others, including Katie. Now, I'm not going to be showing Katie's text with Dream because at the time Dream had told her that her messages and conversation would not leave the texts. However, here is Dream and Ghosty's conversation about it. I was never brought up or mentioned at all, and also when Dream makes fun of Harry for being ridiculous and making stuff up because nothing happened and we were all still friends, she said, exactly. She actually spoke about this on her stream very recently, and I don't want to speak for her, so I'm going to play the clip where she clarifies these messages.
The only time that we had a conversation about anything that had to do with that night was obviously when the stuff with Harry happened, and he texted me asking if it seemed like anything had happened, and I, at the time, said no, because the conversation was not about George. The conversation was about him, and it was about the underage drinking, and it wasn't ever about whether or not Katie, you know, it was always just about him and not George, which is why I said, dude, no, nothing seemed wrong, because he wasn't doing anything wrong, and I can stand by that. I will stand by that comment, and I said that in one of my posts that, you know, like, it wasn't him. That was our conversation. It was never about George. It was about him and the Harry situation. And it was about,
Damn.
at the time had seemed that.
It's so over for this bitch, bro. I mean, how is she not done after this? How is she not completely kicked off the internet forever, right? How is it not completely Jover?
Dream was one who had taken advantage of Katie, and I said he didn't, and I didn't lie.
And Ghosty, I'm really not trying to use your words against Katie or you. I'm just trying to paint an accurate picture of our perspective of the night, and to do that, I kind of have to talk about everything that we knew. I don't think your words negate at all how Katie felt, of course, but they did affect how I perceived the situation afterwards. Even after Katie's stream, this kind of confused us, and Dream especially, because he thought that this would have come up in these conversations. Now, he was so confused that he was convinced that Harry was essentially being malicious, and he said this, and Ghosty and others there agreed with him. Ghosty even said that her friends should get to know him because she and Katie had actually had pretty negative opinions of Dream before meeting him, but had their minds changed after meeting at VidCon. This is obviously said about Dream and not me, but Dream looked at this as positive about the entire experience and shared this with me. It seems like Ghosty has changed her mind about this now, but I just think it's really relevant to how we felt about the situation as a whole, and just show this to you guys. Honestly, over the last year or so, anytime a creator has kind of distanced themselves from me, I just assumed it was because of Dream. Dream had false grooming allegations against him, and I assumed that because of this and my association with Dream, people didn't like me. After Dream posted his video disproving these allegations, I honestly thought pretty poorly of
True.
that were still negative to me, as now
I mean, honestly, George shouldn't even feel bad about this. If you're fucking distancing yourself from someone over false allegations like this, then you didn't want those people near you anyways, dude. They're just fucking retarded. I don't, you know?
there was literally no reason for it. And now after seeing Katie's follow-up, I realized that probably everyone knew about this behind the scenes. And I think that is insane. I was walking around with these people at other events or interacting with them in any way, and all the time they were just thinking terribly about me, and I didn't even know, and neither did any of my friends. If I'd seen Katie in person, I would have gone up to her normally. I would have assumed we were still friends. I think this is a massive injustice to Katie.
I know, it's because this video is super... I should back up from my mic. This fucking video is hella quiet. I don't know why.
It actually kind of makes me rethink a lot of my experiences with other creators, just looking back
Shall
on
we?
New information. And
Thank
I
you
don't
for
even know
the-
who these people are. And
thank
even
you, Queen
right now,
Bee.
after all of this information is public and out there, I still haven't had a single private conversation with anyone who knew about it prior to Katie's stream. This is all just to say that I didn't have any idea that there was a problem, and I wish that I had, and I should have. The last thing to mention is her age. Like I said, I wasn't aware at the time that she was 18. I mentioned that they'd come from an official VidCon after party.
Oh my god, he's still fucking dying on this hill, bro. It's so annoying, man. Just say... Nobody cares that you felt an 18-year-old stomach, bro. You're not a pedophile. You're not a rapist. It's just so... Like, why? No. Why?
Were drunk, and I made the assumption that, knowing how these events are run, that she was probably over the age of 21, as they wouldn't have been able to drink in there otherwise. Now, they actually said that they drank somewhere else briefly before showing up, and that makes more sense. It is irresponsible of me that I made this assumption, and going forward, I will make sure to explicitly ask for a person's age. And I'm sorry, Katie, that I did not do that for you. I also brought up how when I was going back through the texts, I found a picture of one of them wearing a 21 plus age wristband, and I showed this picture. Now, this is from a group chat that I wasn't in, but Dream showed me this when I was making my video, and I think it was relevant to why I was under the impression she wasn't 18. It is now mentioned that Katie wasn't actually the one that was wearing it, and it was just someone else's hand. So in these texts, they say, this is a quote, Lusa's 21 plus wristband. We have a strat. Now, to explain what this strategy is for the people that haven't really been in a club environment or a place where you would get a wristband like this, essentially they give you this wristband to show that you're over 21 so that you can get drinks from the bar. These wristbands are made in a way so that once they're put on, they cannot be taken off without breaking it. And that's precisely why they're used to prevent people from underage drinking. But clearly the security that gave the girls these bracelets didn't do a good enough job and didn't put on fast enough. And this just shows that you can never be too careful and shouldn't make assumptions like I did.
I mean, exactly, dude. Like, they're literally in this group chat talking about... They're in this fucking group chat talking about taking off this wristband to, like, act as if they're older than they are. And then we're supposed to just believe that that George is completely in the wrong for assuming they're 21, but they're literally acting as if they are? Get the fuck out of here. What's up? What's up, Kaya? Sorry, I'm very tired. I've been up for a while. I need to go to bed.
From Katie's statement, it kind of seems like she didn't believe that I didn't know she was 18 and kind of thinks I'm just being dishonest about it. She said that she had it in her bio and that I DM'd her, so she was very confident that I knew.
Later that night, when I left, I received Instagram DMs from him, and in my Instagram bio, in bold, was my age, 18, confirming he knew how old I was.
For context, as you can see here in the screenshot, her age is actually in her display name on Instagram. And because of this, I was also pretty confused how I didn't know that she was 18, as it's literally in her name, not even in her bio. It's in her name. If it was in her bio, it would make sense to me because I could totally see myself going to her.
Wait, fuck,
no,
sorry.
For context, as you can see here in the screenshot, her age is actually in her display name on Instagram. And because of this, I was also pretty confused how I didn't know that she was 18, as it's literally in her name, not even in her bio. It's in her name. If it was in her bio, it would make sense to me because I could totally see myself going to her profile the first time I went to message her and just clicking message and never really going back to her profile, and essentially just anytime I interact with her was just through the direct DMs where you actually can't see someone's bio. So I actually completely see where she's coming from, and it does seem kind of ridiculous that I didn't know. So because of all this, I actually started to look into this quite a lot because I know that I'm not stupid and must have seen it. But also in my head, I know that I didn't know her age, so it conflicts. So today I actually found out there are two different types of professional Instagram account. There's a creator account and a business account. And for some reason, Katie's account was a business account instead of a creator account. We actually
No shot a rich YouTuber should be that negligent when he knows his audience thinks a 2-year age gap is rape. Yeah, true.
joked about this at the time through our DMs because I was actually able to book her as like a business, and I didn't really know why I was able to do that. And weirdly enough, it actually turns out that business accounts don't display special characters from a username in the username that's displayed. And if you don't know what I mean by special characters, basically just a character that isn't something you can type on a normal keyboard. And because her age and the smiley is a special character, it literally just didn't display in her username at all. And you can actually see this in a picture that I sent to her during our messages that her age is not.
I mean, yeah, true. I mean, I guess he's proving here that he didn't know the age or whatever, but it just doesn't matter, bro. It doesn't matter if you knew the age or not, because she's 18. She's 18. You didn't, not sure what's happening right now. Basically, this guy cuddled with a girl for 2 hours at a party. They both admit it was completely consensual, but then at one point during the cuddling, he like touched her stomach, and that was too far, and now she's been sexually assaulted. That's what's happening right now. And because she was 18 and he was 26, this is somehow like super bad. And this girl was like sexually assaulted. That's what she's saying.
Displayed in her name. And you can also see this in the screenshots that I used in my previous video, that her age also isn't visible, despite the fact that her age was in her name at this time. But now actually, as of today, her account isn't a business account anymore, so her age shows up again. And this is a screenshot I took.
Yeah, weird. It's so slimy, dude. She changed it back from a business account so it would show the age. Wow. It's so stupid. So slimy, these people.
Obviously, this wasn't a feature that I knew about at the time, and
I'm excited for her response. Like, she's nuked after this, dude. There's no way to respond to this.
we have to do quite a bit of research today to work that out. So I hope that can kind of clear that up a little bit, and that maybe you can see how I wouldn't have seen it. I actually do think that the age difference between me and Katie was a pretty big factor. I am older than her, and based on what she said, I do have more experience than her. She never went into the exact specifics either, so out of respect for Katie,
to be fair, she did say that his hand was inching towards. It was inching upwards. So yeah, I mean, she was basically assaulted, dude. It's over. Like, all this crying that she was doing on stream, completely deserved. I mean, this guy's career needs to be ruined because he touched her stomach. He tickled her a little bit.
More details than she did, to make sure that I'm not airing out any information that she's not comfortable with being on. But I have clarified that the furthest things went was under the shirt touching. She did say that the level of intimacy that we had together was the furthest that she'd experienced, but to me, it was quite tame. And when I say this, I'm not trying to devalue how she feels about this at all.
You should devalue, because it's stupid. The way she feels about it is fucking stupid. Yeah, he's 26 and she was 18, which again, that's weird. This guy's a fucking weirdo, but he's not a pedophile.
Point out that we clearly view things differently, and this is something that I've learned from now, and I will be taking very seriously moving forward. And I'm truly sorry, Casey, for not realizing this and not taking this difference into account. It is clearly something that is extremely important to you, and I'm sorry. Even after everything I've just said, things would be very different if I could just say that I'd asked her if she was comfortable, and she had said yes. But the fact is, I never did ask this. As I mentioned, there were a lot of things that she said she thought that I wasn't aware of that if I'd known would have changed a lot. And going forward, this will be something that I take into account in every interaction I have with anyone, sexual or not. I am sorry, Katie, and I'm sorry for
like what red flag do you mean, Queen Bee?
Will affect you going forward, and I'm sorry that everything got to this point, but I just hope that after hearing my perspective, you can understand that I never had any bad intentions and never meant to hurt you. I think that is essentially all the information that I can add to the situation. After her first statement, I actually disagreed a lot with how things were portrayed and was pretty confused by all the details, but her most recent response made things a lot clearer to me, and now I do think we agree pretty much on the order of events. We just don't necessarily agree on my intentions, but again, I do really hope that her seeing this can help with that. There are actually a couple of other things that I wanted to mention before I end this video that are not at all as important as anything else I've said before this, but this seems like the right time to address other concerns that people have had. The first thing that I want to talk about is a comment that I made about Punz's girlfriend at the time, Andy. I was in a call with Punz and Andy was in the shower.
This is so stupid to add on to the end of your fucking group, like, rape response. It's so stupid to add on to the end here, dude. Oh my god, I made a inappropriate comment about my friend's girlfriend. Oh my god.
And it was known that we could hear Andy, as we had brought it up previously within the call. She was talking very sexually with Punz, essentially complaining that Punz wasn't leaving the call to go have sex with her in the shower. I don't remember the exact quote that I said, but this is what Andy quotes me saying. If you don't go in the shower and have sex with Andy, I will. I do remember saying something along these lines, essentially saying, come on, Punz, go have sex with your girlfriend, who's begging you to go.
What's the red flag, though? Like, why is that a red flag? Like, well, like, what did he say specifically? That's all.
Sex with her in the shower, or someone else will. But I do understand how this could be disrespectful, and that was not my intention at all. Knowing how she felt after the fact, I do feel bad, and I'm sorry to both Punz and Andy for this comment. My friends, including Punz, we often say ridiculous things, and that's just our type of answer. If anyone ever said something to me about me making them uncomfortable, I would obviously do my best to try avoid making them uncomfortable. But Andy wasn't really one of my friends, so it makes more sense that she doesn't really know that's the type of way that I joke around, and I hope that she understands that I didn't mean any harm by it.
Could she not go to him and talk to him about it instead of blasting it on the internet first? I mean, yeah, true. It's just... That'd make too much sense, okay? Okay. She has to talk about it on the internet, okay? That would make too much sense, alright? Also, they were friendly in DMs for like months after this, so she very well could have done that. But
Finally, something that I've wanted to talk about for quite a long time, but have never done, is the Technoblade charity stream situation. People were
the
upset that I was-
Technoblade charity stream situation. We really need to talk about this, guys. You know, I know I was just accused of sexually assaulting a girl, but you know, we need to talk about the Technoblade. That's what's important right now, guys.
soundboards during the beginning of the stream. For context, this event wasn't intended to be serious or sad. It was a for fun event and to celebrate the memory of Technoblade. A narrative that was massively spread was that I played this soundboard during Technodad's speech, but that actually was not the case, and I had played it during a time where all the creators were in a call just talking to each other before the speech had even started. I actually called Technodad a few days after the event because I wanted to make sure that he wasn't upset or uncomfortable with anything that I'd said, and we discussed it all. He told me that he didn't have a problem with what I did, and that the public reaction was actually pretty crazy to him, and then he invited me to the next year's event. Another thing that people criticized me for is that I didn't donate to the charity. But again, this actually isn't the case. I donated $2,000 to the charity after the event, but I did do it anonymously, so obviously I'm not surprised at all that people don't know this. I donated anonymously because I just didn't really want to make it about me, and just donated because I wanted to. Obviously, there was no actual requirement for the creators in the event to donate to the charity at all, and them just streaming to their audience and incentivizing the viewers to donate wasn't enough. Now, I did this specifically by
I think George and Regis need to come out and stop sexually assaulting people. True.
showing the donations
Maybe just stop being a Minecraft YouTuber. That would fix it.
live as they came through on my stream. And because of me doing this, over 2% of the donations actually contain my name within the donation message. So I think it's pretty unfair to come at me for not donating to the charity when I was clearly making a big effort to get my viewers to donate. And beside that, I did donate $2,000. I just wanted to mention this. I know it's kind of way off topic compared to the other two things I've mentioned in this video, but it is something that's been constantly brought up since it happened as a way of showing that I'm a bad person. So I wanted to throw that out.
They're all
And that's pretty
gay,
much
true.
everything I have to say. So I hope you can understand.
They have the
And-
gay swagger.
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude. Oh, this has been a fun as fuck stream. I'm probably have to get it off though. Tomorrow, okay. I don't know about this, guys, but tomorrow I really want to stream again. If I'm fucking not completely dead, maybe I'll just drink like 10 Red Bulls tomorrow. Then I'll be completely energized. I'll be completely ready to stream again. Okay, maybe that's what I'll do. My point is that more commentary. People will spend 8 hours covering the girl's video, pausing at every point. Every point hat seems sketchy. Yeah, I don't know. What if the video just played through quickly? No questions asked. I mean, it's because his video makes sense, right? I don't know. If you can point to any specific holes, I'm willing to look at them. Anything like any red flags, as you said, I'm willing to look at them and take them into consideration. But I didn't observe any. I played both her video and his video at 2x speed. And I mean, if I didn't pause, it's just because I didn't have anything to add.